The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
On October 6, 2023, the Ceiling Fan Man show broke the internet with what's now being called the video of Two Girls, One Fan.
Can you guys hear me? Hi guys, can you hear me?
September 20th, 2024, or so they say. He's going to do it again.
Information's out there. All you have to do is let it in.
The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Clickety-click.
Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources falls under the Fair Use of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998. Therefore, no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is substantially sourced, not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary. I say, moo. went to donate blood the other day, but never again. There's just too many questions. Whose blood is this? Why is there so much? Why is it in a bucket? Never again.
Satellite tracking continues.
Wow. Wow. Hey, everybody. It's early Friday night. Whoop, whoop. We made it again on the right side of the grass. Congratulate yourselves. The intro just finished playing here. Wait, let me get over here and turn my camera on so I can be seen by you all and say hello officially.
Clickety click.
There it is. Hey, everybody. So, first of all, I have to say welcome everyone that knows me and any new people that are here tonight. It should be a banger of an episode, I hope. Here's the thing. It's funny. I did a show with a gentleman called JT Follows JC, and he said that my intro was like the Freebird of YouTube intros, and kind of, I guess. But the thing is I never thought I needed it more than tonight, because one thing, I'm interviewing this wonderful man. It's so much information. I can't wait to get out of him. But he clicked on the link. It seemed like, I forget how long ago it was. And I'm not even sure if it's him, because look, this is all I get. Let me mute that because I don't know what's going on. It's like, it's just this room. It looks like it's a meeting room or something. And so there you are. What's going on?
Have you been in my room the whole time?
Well, I was waiting.
Wait a minute. Are you like watching me in my room?
Maybe a little.
Before I even got here? Let me try to get rid of this background. I can't believe this background is still here. Let me get back to because you're not getting real time. I'm coming in and out.
Yeah.
Configuration. Sorry,
I'm just happy you're there, because I was explaining to the room that there was just this empty room that I've been staring at for however long you've clicked on, and I
just came in.
Up.
So, well, you know what?
You can't get rid of it now.
Fondo virtual. So then I'm just going to go Ninguno. Is this better?
There we go.
There you go.
That worked. Excellent.
Yeah, you know why?
Excellent. Tell me.
Because they're not there yet.
Oh,
they're not there yet. They keep saying that we could do this, and it's like, no, you can't. Not with me, anyways. So
here, I'll give you with this.
That's very true.
So they keep going, we're going to space. No, we're not. No, not you and me. And you know what I've noticed, Richard, is every time they get back on the mainstream, like Starliner, billionaire, boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're going now. Or this balloon that goes up 25,000 feet or something, right? It's as they're saying, okay, we're going to start going into space now. Let's go. We're going to start doing it. Balloons, zeppelins, airships, propellers, elevators. We're doing it now. Billionaire first, a few of you next, 25,000. Oh, COVID. Oh, war. It's like every time. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's happening. I think we're in that wave right now where there's a bunch of people going to space. So I'm like, oh shit, this isn't good for the markets.
Well, they kick the can down the road like they do everything in Congress. And so it's like, well, we'll go to, they were telling us we were going to Mars. Like they were even jumping past moon again. And now all of a sudden that everything's backed up again. Yeah. It's a never ending cycle.
It's like, it's traffic jam.
Right. So, okay. Well, welcome everyone. The room's still filling in after that, whatever happened earlier, but they expect that from my channel. Nothing really ever goes completely perfect.
So I'm going to just take the clay off my face.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll introduce you.
You do your thing. You do whatever it is. I'm just going to come out of the clay.
Sounds good. So basically, this is not my normal time and not my normal show, but I've done interviews before, and I'm really looking forward to this one. The gentleman that's on screen with me right now, he is the first person I ever saw talk about the shape of the Earth and where we live and the lies of NASA. And so I was really excited that he would do an interview. So we're going to go over that. We're going to cover how he got into it. We're going to go into his past as far as what he does for a living and so forth and how he got to where he is. And from there, we're just going to keep going wherever it goes. And if we're still awake and alive and it hasn't gone on too long, maybe we can ask the questions and stuff. All I ask is my normal chatters understand. All I ask is to be respectful. We can have different ideas, but this isn't the place to air out any kind of like anger kind of issues that you have. And there's only a few rules. If you disparage the host, the guest, or you spam the chat, you're out. And that's it. We don't time out. We just
there's no tolerance here.
That's how it works. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's our speech.
Yeah.
Now, okay. You go do your speech over there. We just have speeching areas. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You don't like me, you do that over there, please.
Yeah. And so,
do it on my fucking channel. You're coming on my lawn. You're coming on our lawn and you're going, but this is freaking me. This is you. And then you're like, bro, this is my house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is your place. I'm your
guest. That's how we do it here, and everything will be fine. The chat's really cool about it.
But if anybody comes in here,
I know there's people that they got ankle biters, and so do you. So it's fine. It is what it is. All right.
It is.
So let's see. Where should we start? Let me start by telling you this, because I don't know how much you even know about my channel. By the way, if I didn't see if I'm sure she's here, but if you're here, Melanie.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, Melanie, the gracious Melanie.
She introduced me, to Beverly, who, you knew or know. And so that's how we got into conversation. And this interview has been brewing for a longest time, and it just came about. Perfect timing.
What are we at? 9.5%
of
alcohol per content in flat Earth, like concentrated, like. How long has it been brewing?
Oh, no, I'm saying you and I trying to do
like a good scotch.
Yeah, I think we're here.
Yeah, 18 years.
Like a fine wine.
Your scotch.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we'll go with that. So, in any case, let me just tell you. So, I had a period.
Let me just take off my shirt.
Oh God, I was getting, and I've been working out in case you ended up going shirtless, because
gotta brag a bit, huh?
You are pure blood. Nice. Well, I have mine on today that my lifeguard walks on water.
Oh yeah.
So okay.
Jesus was a lifeguard.
He is. It still is.
Christ is a lifeguard.
Yep. It
really is. And a lifeguard is like a wannabe Messiah, basically. Anyways, so you go on.
So basically it worked like this. My wife and I, at the same time, we had time off from our work, and we're up there in the 50s. But since we were, teenagers or younger, we've been working our whole lives and really never had time off. And with the time off, I started watching the quote news and seeing inconsistencies when I'd watch it all day. Started realizing that there was lies in it. Ended up going on YouTube, becoming a chatter on YouTube. But the first video that I ever saw of anyone questioning NASA was yourself. And
Yeah,
originally
it was a big, deep trance. And I was for years trying to figure out, how do I come in there and just snap this stick and it like just crack a bunch of yolks on the curb?
Let's see
what's going on here. Oh, you got this.
Oops, not that one. I was looking for where'd it go? Here it is.
Yeah, so I had to put it all into 15 minutes, and they saw me doing it in pieces, and there's all these little tattletales and like rats in the Canadian comedy industry. So a lot of people were tattletaling on this act.
Well, here's the way I found you is that I thought you were a comedian that did clubs and stuff.
And then they tattletaled.
Right, but what
these kind of jokes somewhere else, and I was preparing to bring it onto stage, and they were getting nervous, and it was literally like a horror movie with these hacky government subsidized comedians going, he must be stopped. If he brings this, he'll destroy everything. He'll destroy the entire comedy industry as we know it. Nothing will make sense anymore.
What I saw,
they were like, I could see them having this conversation where it just seemed like I knew I had a certain amount of time to get this show out there. And then after that, I would not be welcome anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in comedy land.
So I guess what I wanted to say or start with is when I thought you were a comedian and a painter on the side, but as it turns out, he's actually this like famous kind of painter. I've seen him paint runways for modeling gigs. I've seen him paint restaurants and all kinds of things, pools, and he's incredibly talented at it. I really had no idea, and I'm sorry I'm like kind of like, you know, saying this in front of you, but I had no idea how talented you were, and the choreography is cool in these too. And so what I see is he's a painter first, and then the comedian thing came out, and then somehow you came across these lies in NASA and did this whole famous bit. If you all haven't seen it, it's photo or painting, and he puts up things he's painted, and you can't tell what's a photo and what's a painting. And sometimes he takes a photo and then does an exact painting copy of the photo. It's really, he messes with your head big time. So my question to you, that I finally have you on the screen, is,
and what year was this? What year was this?
Well, you can tell us all that, but what
2010, 2011.
Did you see something and made you question the NASA thing, photo or painting? What did it for you?
Oh, okay. Well, you know, it goes really far back to a contest to send a 12-year-old. No, was it 12-year-old or was it? Yeah, I think it was a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old. Was it high school? I don't think. No, it was a 12-year-old to the Houston Space Complex. And I remember like we had to draw something of outer space as an artist. And what I did is I was like, oh, okay, I'm a photorealist at 12, 13. I'm doing very realistic stuff. And I'll take one of these images of the shuttle. And I'll just over the Earth, and I'll duplicate that. At the time, I'm like looking at it, and I'm going, "Oh, this is a photo." You know where I'm going with this, right? So I won second round, and then third round, like for third round, we were all invited into the downtown core. Basically, stay up at the Holiday Inn, go to the Museum of Science. All these students pooled from all these different schools, and then there was going to be the announcement after that, the exhibit of all these drawings of the second round of these children who would go to Houston and meet astronauts. Okay, big operation to really get in your head. Earth is round. Okay, you start young. You're going to make a space painting. We're all going to look at it. People are going to see you leave your school. Almost like, is he going to space? No, I'm just going to meet an astronaut. You know, I'm 12 years old. So And I guess everybody at 12 is thinking he's going to meet a man who's still in his bubble outfit, in his like huge glass helmet with his suit on. And it's, everybody has a cartoon version of reality. And so when they're out, and but it really ingrains, So I did this drawing, and they put it up in a major subway stop, and all the children were looking at it, and the adults, and everybody's like, "This is a 12-year-old did this." You know what I mean? Like looks like a photograph, and it looked very realistic. Okay, and so everybody, when they found out it was me, everybody's like, "Oh, you got it. You're going. And everyone's like, holy shit, you're not even, are you even human? You're not even normal. They were really like blowing it up my arse. And I was like, well, take it. I was in galleries at 13. I was like a bit of a hustler going around putting paintings up.
Really?
Yeah. And after church, the other parishioners would come over from the church, and they'd have a big talk about Christ and this and that and the Bible and that. And what I think it meant. And then they almost get to an argument. And then at one point near the end of the dessert, the guest would say, well, how much do you want for that one there? And I was just like, going to mass, and then people coming over for brunch, and then making $2,500.
Not bad at all.
Just selling paintings. And yeah. I was like, I like this mass thing, going to mass. Catholics come over, you talk about the Bible, and I sell some art. I'm like, because they were very Catholic, my parents, and the priest be over for brunch and all that stuff. And anyway, so just to give you the stakes, so everybody's like, oh, okay, well, you're going. I was literally in this massive auditorium. They had some improv players do some sketches to warm up. Then it was time to announce the winners. The third place, second place, and first place going to Houston. And people are going to go, on the Round Earther side, who only have a channel because of me, right? I want to get back to the story about this drawing competition. But the Round Earthers, I just want to say, they only have a freaking channel to attack Flat Earth because of me. You live off your Round Earth merch and your channel, making fun of me with all your millions of followers are like, yeah, it's round. Yeah, it's round. Who tunes into a channel on YouTube about the Earth being round?
Yeah, you're right. You
know what I mean? Like, you would tune into Flat Earth, but you're going to go, yeah, well, the Flat Earth, I'm going over to a Round Earth channel. Well, we're going to talk about you and how round it is, and you don't get it. You're crazy, stupid. And
what do you think about I've never thought of it that way. So take away the channels that talk about Flat Earth. Who's sitting around going, I'm going to talk about how the Earth is round, and with no other opposition? Who's
it's like they were like, no, but they were like, basically, it's done, it's settled, it's round. I'm going to watch NASA channel, maybe some Roseanne when Roseanne was still on her own show.
Right.
What a fucking joke. And then it's settled. I'm not going to talk about it being flat. Like it's stupid.
They did that to us at 5 years old. They made us 5 years old. They told us, here's the flag you're supposed to pledge to, and here's the Earth that's round and sit down.
But what I'm getting at is they were all like, it was a fait accompli, landing on the moon, everybody driving around their Chevy with the flag. And then somebody goes, yeah, but that's a painting. How would you know? Hey, wait, can you fit all of Russia and the length of Canada and the length of the Atlantic and the length of the Pacific on the other side of the globe you took a picture of when you were on the moon? Like, you just have Africa. You got to put the whole other half, the rest of the world on the other side. No, even with the angle, it still doesn't work out. The length of Russia and Canada, the Pacific and the Atlantic all have to be on the other side. So that's over with. And then, you know what's funny about all these, like, the guys on YouTube? That one they don't talk about. It's almost like two circles, one ball I want to talk about in a bit. But back to the drawing, like back to the Round Earther. They hear about the Flat Earth. They get upset, and they're like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and defend the Earth's shape as a ball. You know what I'm saying? Like 24/7, I'm there on guard for this globe. I'm going to make a YouTube channel, and I'm going to make fun of Flat Earthers, and I'm going to make money and sell merch. Who's thinking this? No, but really, Richard,
Okay,
This
so
is
go back to the
things of an
beginning.
operation to control the culture. Who's going like? Who is on their chair and they're saying it's flat now? All right. Well, I thought this work was done. That means I got to get a channel. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the rest of the population just dismisses us as being insane, you know. So it's
but they
like,
got like 500,000 people on it going, yeah, you say it to those flat earthers. Yeah, it's round. Gravity. You know, like, oh, I'll explain the moon. Like,
well,
and they just sit
mean,
there like this, these Neanderthals banging their cymbals. Like,
well, it seems like, and we'll go over this. Like, there seems to be like two groups. To me, it's like watching wrestling now. You've got the flat Earth group. They fight.
I mean, it's amazing. I created all this
every week. They
on,
seem to fight with each other, right? It's always the same. It's like wrestling, you know. So there are a few people on the outsides, like you and myself and whatever, and we know because we never get the subs, the things, whatever. It's fine. But we're just out here speaking truth. And if we'd be foolish to think that they wouldn't put in some type of operation.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just shut the AC on. It's off. It's too loud.
Okay. But yeah, there's an operation put in place to, I feel, to make Flat Earth look stupid more than already people think of us. And so, and we'll cover that. But before we get there, we got to go back. So you're 13.
So 13.
So how do you, you muted yourself now? Oh my goodness. You're muted. You're muted. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. There's no audio.
Here we go.
There we go.
Who did that? You saw my hands. I was nowhere near the computer.
I don't know. Well, get it out quick before they mute us again. So here, you're 13 years old.
Basically, I'm sitting in the whole auditorium with 1,000 kids.
Oh wait, you're older. I'm sorry, you're older, right? You're older. How old are you? When did this happen?
I'm like 12 years old. Okay.
Oh, you are.
And I'm thinking I'm going to Houston Space Center there.
Okay.
Kennedy Space Center. You know, like, oh, it's too bad he died to not see us go to the moon. You know, like he was probably on the phone, like Kennedy, like, you make sure that I'm going to get the push button, not the rotary. If I'm going to call out of space, I don't want the rotary. Yes. Well, we'll get on it. Get that push button phone in the Oval Office. I don't want to be doing a rotary call. Can you imagine him calling the moon? Like Kennedy, like doing the rotary phone? Like, and what would that be? What is that? 010?
Yeah, what's the area code for the moon? I'm not sure. Yeah,
0101.
That's the code to the Matrix.
He's just going 0, and it's like Twilight Zone. It's like, oh, hey, how you boys doing? Hey, we're almost on the moon.
They didn't get Kennedy though, because he'd already taken the other shot, not the one.
No, this is a valid. This is
Nixon.
This is a valid situation. Let's say Kennedy really thought we were going to the moon. I'll get back to when I was 13. We'll decorate this whole conversation.
I see.
Let's say that Kennedy was really like talking to Werner von Braun, the ex, what do you call it? K2 missiles from the Nazis.
Yeah.
What was it? What are they called? What are those rockets called? The Saturn rockets there? The missiles that the Nazis made. They had that guy come and do the space program.
Of course.
Right? So the bombs, right, built by the German Nazi machine, the guy was building the bombs. Hey, he's like in there making bombs, you know, huge, massive exploding dildos. And they're like, hey, you stop this. Come and do this for us. You know, like, we'll go to the moon. And he's like, all right, let's do this. But he's bullshit. And he knows he's not going to fly to the moon. He just wants to blow shit up. And now he's in this thing. And everybody at NASA is a Nazi NASA's. So NASA's Nazis. And so they're all in on it at the top. It's like, okay, this Kennedy guy's a problem. He keeps asking about like how close we are to getting to the moon. He doesn't know we're going to bullshit it. This guy's a problem. And he's like, where you at now today, Werner Von? Can I come over and see? You know, and he's like, every day he's like, Werner? Anyways, I'm just wondering where the rocket's at and how much closer we are to get to the moon. Yeah, call me back when you have a chance so I can come see that rocket. And and they're all Nazis at NASA going, it's just fun to make the bombs. They can't pierce the Van Allen belt. It's impossible. This man's crazy. He's going to find us out, send us back to Germany. And it's...
You're so good at the impressions.
Well, I'm wondering if, you know, And here we are today with RFK Jr., with Trump, and we're all in this weird thing, and Flat Earth just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It makes you wonder, was it NASA that took out Kennedy? And we talk about this guy and the mafia and the CIA and everything but. And you know what? I'm not saying that, and I won't say that, but it's kind of interesting that the rotary phone was on the Oval Office desk, the same phone that was going to call the moon. Is I should be able to call them with a rotary phone. And I don't need to do this. I could do it myself. 0, 1. You know what I mean? I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way. If I could call the moon with the old phone like this, you know what I mean? How you fellas doing there up in the capsule? Yeah, I mean, I got a clear signal with the old phone, a lot better than your 5G. At least I got something plugged in the wall so I can get to the moon. You know what I mean? Like, they had a cord. So the day he died, he had a rotary phone on his desk. Did you know that, I think it was 5 days later, the phone on the desk went push button, and that was the phone that called the moon, or called the outer space on the way to the moon. This is a funny, weird, fucking weird thing that no one talks about that I've revealed, and I'm doing a whole thing on the phone, a painting on the phone, and this is where this thing has led me. But
you know what, Matt? I have the phone call. You want to see it? I have the 30. It's
you do have the phone call?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've clipped it together to a little
Are they
short.
playing golf while they're talking to him?
No, I'll show you it. Here, it's just like a minute. Here, watch.
It makes boom.
Yeah, I think something rather important is coming up here.
Neil and Buzz, the President of the United States is in his office now and would like to say a few words to you. Over.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House.
And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made from the White House.
Because it looks so fake.
Oh my God. I mean, it is the death knell.
It's
that was like, well, how do you, I could imagine that had a bit of mileage into the 70s and the 80s. And if you're trying to say the earth was flat, which you weren't during the 80s, it wasn't until I came along on the internet. I went to bed. He was on his sofa going, well, we don't have to settle that anymore. Everybody knows it's round. And then somebody says it's flat. What? I got to start a YouTube channel. And then I'm going to have a bunch of subscribers. Anyways, the point of the matter is that I was in the auditorium. There was a girl in front of me, and she's kind of cute, and she's kind of ditzy, and she was right in front of me. It was a huge auditorium, 1,000 children. Everybody's going, that's the guy. That's the guy that painted the picture that looks like the shuttle, realistic and everything. That's the guy. And I'm I'm really going, wow, this is, I don't know too many people, but everybody wants to be my friend. And I'm oh, wow, looks like I'm going to Houston. And I'm going to go meet an astronaut. And they announce the winners. They show their drawings. Okay. So they do third place. And it's that's pretty good. You know what I mean? Not that good. I mean, it's good for a kid, but I was at an advanced level of painting and getting really into seeing, reproducing what I see in front of me and projecting, doing even the projector mathematics in my head. A lot of the paintings you showed were not using projector like a lot of artists do that are photorealists. So the math was going from small photos this big, so really going in, and then I would go 46 inches by 62 inches, and I would I would recalibrate the little thing I saw and that ripple, a lot bigger. So I would do the math, and I would be in reference to everything else. I would do that mathematics in my head. I wouldn't use a projector. And so people were accusing me of using a projector. And I was what are you talking about? And it's like, people project. I was like, what? I was like, you mean the photorealists actually project the photograph on a wall and then they trace? And I was like, oh my God, this could be so much faster for me. I was like, I was doing this all in my head, like I'm going mad. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, nobody does that. They do the sketch. And I'm like, even like Vermeer had like a hologram thing he would do with mirrors and light. And so I was like, oh, wow, I was really just overdoing it like a comedian, you know, like you go, wow, this guy's on stage. He's got all these funny thoughts. It's like, no, that's a routine. And when you see him again, he's doing the exact same words. I didn't know that either. I thought, I got to go up there and I got to make people laugh differently each time. That'll be my edge. And so, and I kind of found out the gross side of comedy. And I was like, oh, it's a routine. Oh, these guys are just doing the same thing. I see 50-year-old guys that would be doing the same 15 minutes that they came up with when they were in their 20s. It's
same act their whole life.
Same act the whole life. They lived off it, you know? I was like, wow. And they didn't write anything more. It was just weird. It was like a band, like a rock band that just isn't going on tour.
All right. Well, let's haul you back in.
So the girls in front, And
if my wife listened, I'd love some
was, but there's a point to it. The girls in front, I don't think anything of it. Big auditorium. So they get to go, okay, and first place. And I'm like, and people are looking at me and I'm like getting red in the face. And at one point I'm like, what if I don't win? Nah, that's crazy. I was like, everybody knows, everybody's looking at you. Everybody there. And this really played with me. Yeah, you're not going to believe it. Then they show this drawing and it's like someone's grandmother made with Crayola red and like a big eyeball and like eyelashes and a flower. And there's a rocket going over her grandma and her. And it's
I didn't see that.
Fucking stupid. It's a kid's drawing. It's right there. It looks like a kid's drawing. A 12-year-old did that. And it would look like the whole thing. We were all there in the audience. Everybody was there for some government favor and some minister's daughter, because this is in Canada, by the way. Some minister's daughter is the one that introduced in, and she's going to go. Oh, right in front of us. Everybody. And everybody looked at the girl get up, and she's like, oh. And she gets up, and she's like, oh, I guess it's me. And everybody's looking at her going, no, this is a mistake. And they're looking at her, looking at me.
Like you're supposed to do.
I'm going, I don't know what's going on here. The whole auditorium, all these kids, like, that's not right. That doesn't make any sense. It's like, yeah, I wanted to win and I want to go, but what the fuck is going on here? And we all see this. And I couldn't believe it. And I know I sound like a diva, but I was like, literally, I was painting very realistically when I was young. I filed that away. That made no sense. And then you start realizing the game is rigged and blah, blah. When someone told me that it was flat and I said, well, what about the pictures? And they said, come on, Matt. Something connected with that moment. And it was basically, I remember reviewing the photo after I lost. Like I'm looking at the final match, the final game, and we lost the cup that season. I'm looking at, like what's going on here? Well, how could I have lost? And then I realized this whole thing that I reproduced was a painting. The shuttle up there in space, the Earth below, they couldn't have a government, scholastic, Minister of Education contest for science and going to the Houston Space Center where the winner copied a painter's image of NASA. So that stuck with me. And then it was just like, oh, this is starting to get on my nerves. It's like, so when somebody brought that up, I was like, there was just one thing left that I just didn't look at. And that was the Earth from space. And I was like, what a big faux pas or like blind spot as an artist who paints things that look photorealistic for me to not have looked at that painting. right? And that was where the explosion happened. And then I had the comedy career, and I had the appendage of being a photorealist painter. And I was like, oh, so this is how the two are going to meet. And so that's basically, and my father never said the word globe. He never talked about outer space, never talked about NASA, never talked about the moon landing, not once. And he's extremely intelligent, was like head inspector for SNC Lavalin and like Standard Oil, all sorts of big companies that you heard of. He was there in the beginning and the infrastructure level of setting up the electrical grid for these corporations. And so he was the guy, and graduated from university at 16, went to university at 13, never brought up outer space my entire time with him as his son. And that, but it's in retrospect where it all comes together. Then it was all about like, this can't be. They obviously will have responses to me saying these are paintings. And then I'll just arrogantly move forward with this opinion as a monstrous character with all my abilities as an actor and a comedian and a producer and an event producer and a political scientist and a statesman, and put it all together online, and let's give it a go. Let's see how round it is.
So you're saying you got to this point in your mind where you're like, okay, they're faking this. You went to a YouTube channel.
And I wanted them to stop me. And I wanted to stop me with science, not bullying and shills and.
But did you start like saying?
And I had the science set up
channel?
for them.
Did you
I had the science set up for them. We'll get to that in a bit. Sorry, Sorry, what was that?
It's okay. I step on people all the time. Do you do the YouTube channel first, or did you start the comedy?
No, I was in. There was no YouTube.
But were you doing the comedy act first?
YouTube was coming. I was doing shows.
Okay.
What you saw was one that was taped.
Where was that, by the way?
Hundreds of shows.
Where do you know where that?
And I was hitting 100 people, 200 people at a time.
Yeah.
And that show was not the best show, but it was one that was recorded. You got it back then, trying to get somebody to come up with a camera and hold the camera. People didn't have really good phone cameras or memory to videotape a sync. You know what I mean? It was back. So it was like getting a camera person. I think I get somebody to go hold a camera.
Here's the thing.
A big deal.
Here's the thing. That video is so iconic. It doesn't even matter that it wasn't produced or shot well. It's incredible because I have a lot of it memorized and barely, I haven't seen it a whole bunch of times, once or twice, but it hit me like a brick. You're the first person I ever heard say, hey, how did they tilt the camera up? Did they leave a guy on the moon? And things like that. And now what's interesting is that once they started hearing us talk about these questions on all these channels, they now have a narrative that they remote controlled that at the end, but they never had that narrative before. Now they've got that one. They can remote control little toy cars on Mars, and I can't even keep a cell phone signal on my porch. You know what I mean? It makes no freaking sense when you start waking up to it. But yeah, you were the first person that had me look at the lunar lander and say
the mooner.
Here, this thing. Oh wait, you'll appreciate this. I just did this one the other day. Here, this is 30 seconds.
What a piece of junk.
She'll make 0.5 past light speed. She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts, kid. I've made a lot of special modifications myself.
Satellite tracking continues.
The first time I looked at that picture in like 4K or whatever, the high definition, if you type in high definition.
That's my tinfoil hat, by the way.
What? Tell me.
The lunar module.
That's your hat?
That's my tinfoil. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like there's tape.
Wear that, man. When they say you wear your tinfoil hat, I always imagine someone's wearing the lunar module, like the lunar lander. Like, oh, my tinfoil hat. You mean the lunar lander?
Yeah.
Because I'm
loony. That thing has everything looks ridiculous. The lunar lander looks like, or the little car that they don't explain how it actually even fit in there or how they put it together and all that stuff. And it looks like lawn chairs and umbrellas. And it's just.
And the guy that says he did, and the guy that says he never went, how'd they fit him into that?
Yeah, right.
I think Buzz is so scared of burning in hell forever.
Well, I showed a minute ago. I had this on screen. Where is it? This one. If you've ever seen this interview, and I know you have, like if you see the interview before they're going, they're so excited. We're going to the moon, baby. And then as soon as they get
These
in,
are like
no.
kids who stole something or did something bad and were caught.
Yeah, they're like, no, you're not going to the moon. That's all bullshit. You're going down this emergency slide as soon as you get in there.
I always bring up when the guy wins the Grand Prix Formula One, he grabs the champagne and he jerks it off, and he's like, yeah, and all the chicks and the girls in the bikinis.
I never saw it that way, but you're
right. You know what I mean? Like, where was that? Like,
yeah,
I was like, fucking, they're just jumping on them and they're screaming. They're like, no, it's like, I went to the moon. I was like, I won the Grand Prix. Oh, wow. Yeah.
You're 100% right. Because these three guys look like they just found out Santa's not real or something.
You didn't go to the moon.
The most
It's almost like they're like, well, where were we? You were lying.
Yeah,
and we got you all on tape in the room.
Yeah, the fact that if you all
you're going to say you went to the moon, or we're going to release that you guys were in a room in your outfits for a week.
Lying to everyone. Yeah.
What?
And
they were in a grain silo or something.
Yeah, well, that one video, that movie is still out there. It's a funny thing happened on the way to the moon. They show where they're actually lying, and they're saying they're so close to the moon. And
I thought you said they were going to show them actually sitting in the grain silo.
Oh no, that's probably exists somewhere. It'll be out next year.
We're looking on at the weird cameras they had back then, the big surveillance cameras back then. You know, the Fred Flintstones, where there's a monkey inside, and it was the monkey that's supposed to be on the moon, by the way, and up in space. Oh, anyway, so
look at this thing.
I mean, it's claptrap. I mean, this is like, what is that? Carbon tape, insulation,
and there's gaps. Look
tripods.
At the gaps. Look at the gaps. And it's paper mache. It looks like something you would do in grade school, like that science fair they did.
You know, you're going to the moon. You're like, it's like, we got to get there. And what is that? A tent?
I don't know.
Is that like a canvas?
Like, how comfortable would you feel going in this if you actually thought you were going? I'd be like, hey, guys, you sure this is safe?
Trying to do?
Did anybody notice there's a hole there? Are we okay? Do you think the Van Allen belts will be a problem? No.
And then they pulled out their golf bag out of that.
Right.
They went into that with it was like, okay, let's go down in the lunar lander now. I was like, you sure this thing's gonna disconnect? So it's like, you think this is gonna disconnect? Yeah, shut up and just follow the instructions. We're lucky to have a signal. I think we're in the other room. And it's like, you shut your mouth, Buzz. We're all fucking dead.
That's right. They did kill some of them. They killed some of them.
Slow. Anyways, grab the golf clubs, you fucking idiot, Buzz. And it's like, you know who was the real asshole? It was the quiet one. I don't even remember his name.
Nobody does.
He was the one that was the third guy that nobody knows his name. He was actually the guy who was fucking making sure that they played Nancy.
Well, he was probably the handler of the group.
He was the handler, I think. Yeah. And that was who he is. He was like, grab the golf clubs, you fucking moron, Buzz. Jesus. We got a week in the same room. Get it right.
And just, you know, the way I found, so once I found out that, you know, they were lying about space, I saw someone mention if you type in satellites in space, all you get are cartoons. And
I know, so it gets really bad. Here's the thing: is like I learned very early on. I think it was in you know, we live in this great country. You know, freedoms of the man and the woman, and to are guaranteed. And you know, even when you work with the government, that you uphold the Constitution. The values, you know, regardless of how BlackRock owns everything, there's the Constitution. But now it's really up to the Constitution and people maintaining it. And it's amazing to see. I forget my point, but you know,
well, check
just
this
the
out.
violation. The violation of it is.
So when my I guess start of research before I did anything on YouTube, I started looking into satellites, seeing only cartoons. I mean, these are actual ideas of how many satellites are flying
Yeah,
around
so
us right now.
it gets to, but it gets to an even deeper level where I would say, now I want you to think of every thought you've ever had in your head and how much of your thoughts are derivative of TV or images that you've never seen. How much of your mind's eye uses this interpretation system of TV imagery or book imagery that's you can never access that point of view. How much of that is ruling your state right now?
Well, it is, and agreed with that, but also they said for the moon landing, so many people heard it on the radio and thought they saw it live. It's so amazing
That
that
hoe
what you
over
can
there,
do to yourself,
that hoe over there thought. So it's
Yeah.
thought over
Hey,
there. Yeah. So
wait,
basically, that hoe over there. You know what? So that's what I heard. The thought. So it's like, yeah, it's sad, and then you see the outcome is they all took a lethal injection. You know,
Well,
play
how about
stupid
this?
games, win stupid prizes.
This is true.
You play the
It's very
globe,
true.
you fucking bought a stupid set of science. You then
So-
took the globe as an injection, and now your days are numbered. No
Well, Matt-
one in this curriculum that I unleashed took that. You know what I mean? Because what it did is it basically made you do an audit on your brain. Okay, how much of my brain is from my own fucking brain? And then how much of it is from outside influences? Now, how many things are images I'll never see, a flag or whatever it is, like abstract in image science I'll never see that rules my day, my mind. So I got money, which is drawn. I got flags that are drawn. I got the earth as a globe, which is drawn. I got Christ to a degree, right, is drawn. So I got the devil that is drawn. I have so many images here that I didn't generate, like originally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're from external to me. And now it's shaping my mind as I move through time and space with this instrument I have for a certain amount of time. Am I on the right shape of the world? People go, oh, what difference does it make? It's like it makes all the difference in the world. Because if you're on the wrong fucking shape of the world, then you're going to have a skewed view of what's really happening with nature and reality. And you're going to go through your whole life and you'll be on your bedpan in the hospital, probably shitting as you die, and just going, okay, I'm going, kids. So this is it. And then I'm released. It's a release, Dad. And I was like, you remember us when you go up there? And he's like, I'm going up. And he's going up and he's thinking he's leaving the globe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's going up and he's like, I'm leaving this earth. And it's like, that's how far it went. Like he thinks he died. He'll never know. There are possibilities to that.
Right.
And just that itself, that would be liberty. I like freedom, but let's be honest. You were enslaved by a point of view you never had with your own senses. So you have to go to the priest, which is the astronaut. It's the modern day priest. And you believe him. I was there. Kneel to save the globe and all of its resources and humanity and peace on earth on this globe. And the science of all of us that goes to me going to a rocket to show you the picture. That you got to do this now because we only have so much land and resources. So you got to cut
That's
farming.
the other thing, part of it too.
What's that?
That's part of it too, where they make you feel that everything is
it's a tax.
A very small, limited amount of resources.
Grand larceny. It's illegal. It's racketeering. It's all of it.
So
genocide. It's crime against humanity. It's all of it. It is the biggest one. And it's the reason why they're unleashing little ones like COVID 1984. Can I say that?
You did, but we'll keep going.
COVID-19. 84 victims. Caught it. I just said
Wow.
COVID-19. 84.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to
84.
let me get this off the screen. I was going to finish. So when I saw that they're all cartoons,
Infected.
this-
Yeah.
I went to the satellite program called the Mariner satellite, and they all look like ceiling fans. And my actual avatar that I use is the Mariner 9, is this one, and it still has the light chain on it.
Now wait a minute. That's an actual satellite that they claim as a satellite,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
they're actually using a fan.
Yeah, this right here. This is the Mariner 9 satellite. And this is the Mariner 8, I believe, and the 7.
Okay,
They all
do you
look
have like
ceiling
that
fans.
actually on eBay? That model fan, ceiling fan? Any of these?
You want?
Do you
the
have
actual-
the actual model on eBay?
No, I don't have a model on eBay. Why?
Okay, but that is a fan. That's a ceiling fan.
That's a ceiling fan every day of the week.
Okay, but did you go and look on in the world of the market of ceiling fans to see if this
if I can
actually
find
exists
this
as a
one,
ceiling
I don't
fan?
know. This was back in the 70s, so they might have discontinued this series. But
Okay, so what you need to do is find out the truth, and that is a ceiling fan.
yeah.
I hate to tell you.
No,
And
you
they
don't
probably
have to.
added a few little things on Adobe Photoshop, and they are laughing.
Yeah.
And it's money, man, that you're never going to go. And this is what I want to get.
They didn't
to.
even
This
get
is
the
what I
light
forgot.
chain out. It's right there still. They don't even bother anymore.
I'm
'cause
telling you.
people aren't watching.
Did you know? So that's what I was saying. You're in a free place where everything's free. You could say you're not free, like you got to pay. You got to pay to prove that you're not committing a crime when you open up your mouth for First Amendment. So it's, but basically, you're in a place that's supposed to be free, right?
Right.
You can't comment on certain things,
No, especially on this channel. Yeah.
and we can't connect the dots anymore, right? And it seems to be like, oh, I connected this with that, and it's like, I was thinking today, I was like, well, I wanted to save it for the show that I'm going to do on December 27th, but I'll bring it up anyways. And I can't. I got to save it for the show.
That's okay. You can save it. We
I'm
can
going to
even
save it for the show because I'm giving away too much new shit.
We'll preview that before we
I will
leave.
be previewing the painting of Nixon calling outer space. It's very funny.
Oh, excellent.
That will be part of the show. It's my latest painting. So,
let's get into that real quick. I'll show
Okay.
the audience. So if you're not familiar with, where is it? It's this one. If you're not familiar with Matt's work, so it like this one, it says, what do you get when you mix one painter and 5 beautiful women and 6 rappers and 3 wild comedians? And so this is the kind of stage shows that he would do. And he would paint. And when I found he was a painter, he wouldn't just paint. He paints on people. He uses himself as a paintbrush. It gets pretty wild on some of these shows. And so there's that. But then I think I showed this one where you guys walk down the hall and paint. And that's the photo or painting. So, okay, I guess I did cover that one. I'm sorry. But yeah, so it's the fact that you can take art and then use it to help push this whole idea of people waking up to the flat earth, that whole photo or painting thing, it still resonates today. And so
more so, I didn't think it was going to get so serious too this fast, but with AI and deep fake, like now it's like it's just, so is it real or is it fake? Is it a photo or a painting? And so it just gets more and more like, can you tell it's real? So it's even more. So it's almost like we are really lucky that I guess I was able to do this, and I'm not so lucky, but we as a collective, the world, I think this really gave everybody. I was like, oh, battle armor on, like we had to go, they're going to fake all of reality. What? It was like a 9/11 kind of, let's go. They're going to start faking things. And the faking in the clouds, the faking the medicines, the faking people, they're faking with masks, they're faking with now images, they're faking with what you said, they're faking with your sound, they're faking with who you are. So what photo or painting did was I shudder to think how we might be enslaved right now if it wasn't for it, the flat earth and the photo or painting. Because I'll tell you, man, it was like it was talking to concrete. Like they'd be like bringing up, like they'd be reading their newspaper and be like looking at it, like new Earth-like planet found behind Mars or whatever, and be like, Matt, look, check it out, they found one, and it'd be like, oh, this is pathetic. Like your life is so poor and so hopeless that you're like hoping they find a planet like here without the student debt. Without the fucking, without like your credit card, without you, like there's no room, and without your ability to get land. And you heard the days when you could just run and then go mine, and then to go, this is my plot of land, and then be people running across the West, just stabbing the ground with like flags, going, this is my acre, I got it. And you're thinking, oh, maybe there's an Earth out there, and then this kind of like, oh, there's hope. We might be able to go to another world. It's like when you really start to look at what fuels that, then you're like, start to forward engineer the culture that got a human mind to that, and then reverse engineer, and you're going to put it all together and go, oh, this person is completely made to think that their lot in life on the globe is the way it is. It's the way reality is. And they're going to have to accept it. And maybe we'll find another planet because this one's getting overpopulated. And these schmucks, these plebs in the subway on the way to work with their little like free rag of the day with the next planet and the next treat of the week. And NASA would release a treat of the week in these newspapers, these free rags worldwide. I was losing my mind. I was like, I'm going to fucking break this thing. When Facebook came along and I saw people posting their sandwiches, that's what I had for lunch. I was like, I'm going to fucking break this fucking open. I was like, Facebook for me was like, oh, they're going to shut down what I'm going to say in 20 years anyways. That's what this is. They're getting everybody on this platform. I'm going to shoot my mouth off about the earth being flat and chemtrails, making climate change, all this, blah, 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 blah. And it'll be between people's sandwiches, like that'll be my post. and I was like screenshotting it as an artist, like I'm a punker. I'm a punk rock. I'm coming in like the punks. We're going to fuck this Facebook shit up. And I was like, get that. And they were like, with a bunch of other punks doing memes we heard about in 2009 about this abstract concept of memes with TAZs, temporary autonomous zones, and memes. But memes were analog then. They weren't really what they are today. But what happened was I saw the word meme repeat itself on Facebook with flat earth. That's where I heard the word meme come back for the first time. And never had I heard anybody say the word meme, except with my circle of artists that would apply to the Meme Fest in Holland or wherever it is. And we would send out videos, and these were any kind of media. But what would happen is that culture would be going along and you wouldn't be part of the Hollywood system. And then you would do a meme and it would tick, and then the zeitgeist would get a dent. And then the mass culture would be affected, not completely, but the fact that you would penetrate with 200,000 people impact or whatever it is. Well, then the people with that, they would go out and it would impact more, and then the zeitgeist would alter. So there's still meat to be had with the buffet, of interfacing with the freedoms that were still around.
Okay, so I'm trying to put the timeline together. So you were doing their comedy shows.
Yeah, 2001.
And then you
put it
started
together when somebody said the Earth is flat.
You started doing those, and then you went into Facebook and started doing your
Facebook was 2007. I was doing shows.
Okay.
I was first 3 years lab, like all of you did to me, trying to disprove me. So, I was like, I can't disprove me, and this is getting crazy, and all sorts of stuff was going on with my computer, like things getting wiped, being removed, video edits gone. Like, it was really nasty, the games, seeing the cursor move. And I was like, it was really, I'd talk to people and they'd be like, well, how could they do that?
Mm-hmm.
It was just like talking to, it was totally H.G. Wells' Time Machine. I'm in the future with a bunch of like twits that are eating like a pear from the bowl of food that's put there every day. They don't know by who, but they just eat and then listen to a man who's like, you don't get it.
Can I tell you something, Matt? It's interesting. Yeah. So you're sort of like the pioneer. You're out there on your own. No one's believing anything you're saying.
I'm alone.
And yet now there's a whole bunch of us that have gone through this. I mean, I've been talking about these things.
A bunch of us. I saw a video today.
Within our small little world.
I saw a video today where there's politicians or in different ranks and people
almost got that out
saying stuff like, it's not stopping. It's getting too big.
But I was going to say is I've had incidences and other people that I talked with where things have gone missing from our devices, like our phones and stuff. And so we have at least each other to say, yeah, this happened to me. And you can show them how it worked, and all that. Where you were by yourself, you were like, hey, meanwhile, everyone's just eating an apple going, what are you talking about?
Every girl that has gotten close to me has a breaking point, and
I can see that.
After a certain, no, it's like, oh wow, your whole life is going to be. They can just roll over you, and I'm like, baby, they didn't, and they haven't, and I'm an octopus, and I'm able to do this. That's why we're here. I was able to do this. Support me, but most of them collapse because they're women. And I'm a warrior. And they'll go, you're a warrior angel and all this earth warrior. I'm like, whatever. I'm fucking thinking about my son's future. And I don't like all this kind of like sissiness and lying and not real. And you're not going to come up with any real solutions if you're on a fake model of the world. You're not.
Well, I've found this.
And look where we are.
And I connect everything biblically, and it says there many times that, even the wisest men, we don't know, like read the book of Job. We don't know why things work or how things work. They just do. I was talking to my wife today. She cut herself, and at a point the blood started clotting, and it knows to do that on its own. I mean, it's just our bodies are just incredible.
Yeah, imagine someone trying to control that through a remote control.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the phones blowing up? Did you hear about the phones blowing up?
Isn't that wild? Yeah, everything supposedly over Lebanon.
When I heard that, I was like, sons of bitches, because I've had this thing in the car, or I'll go into Walmart. They got air conditioning in Walmart. I want to film, and I want to film something that's going on that is, I'm going to go social justice warrior. Oh, they're lying about bioengineered or whatever it is. I'm going to flip all the things, and I'll grab the phone, and it's not even cold. And then it'll do the warning like your phone is too hot. Like it was out in the heat.
Yeah.
No, it's also, it's code. It's like quarantine. Either you're sick or you're causing a mutiny on the ship and we put you in barracks. We put you in quarantine. That's what it is. Quarantine's political. Two definitions for quarantine. So it's like, oh, too hot. Oh, it's like, you mean too hot. The content is too hot. It's like, oh, what I'm about to say and do here is too hot. It's not the temperature. It's like, so like, can this thing just explode into a grenade?
I don't know. I have mine in my pocket sometimes. It's like,
yeah, and then your ass blows up, and it's like, oh, and then they go, it's Hezbollah. Or you're walking around Walmart with that thing, and it's like, you get off the bike and you're running after your kid, and then your ass blows up, but everybody else blows up around you. You're like, oh, okay. But it's like, oh, my phone blew up. And I'm like, oh,
here's the thing though.
This thing ruins our life. Well, started the flat earth, but ruins our life with everything else after. and then we get our asses blown up.
And on some level, Math, some of that is just fear porn. They want, because everyone's got these with them now.
They're all actors.
Then who knows if any of them have actually blown up, but it's put a fear in everyone's head.
Can you
now
imagine,
that my phone could blow up.
What do you think the percentages of asses that blew up?
I don't know.
Because how many people put it in their pocket?
But the thing is they have the technology, we know that, to like shut down cars.
That's 9/11
and things like that. So
That's
they can do that remotely, and they admit
missiles
that.
take out buildings, phones blow up. You follow
Maybe.
what I'm saying?
I can't say no to it.
Serial killer, like mark. You know, like the mark of that serial killer, the one who did 9/11. It's like phones blowing up. I know who did that. That's the same fucking mindset. Who faked going to the moon, who 9/11, COVID, and phones blowing up. It's like, oh, it's the serial killer. You know what I'm saying? It's like they take that everyday thing. Oh, there's the towers. Oh, there's the plane. Oh, there's the table and the common cold. And there's the phone. And then they just weaponize it. Right?
Yeah.
And it's all because of this moon landing. And that's what's so important. People understand. And I want to talk about it, but I'll bring it up on stage again. But if they didn't put a man on the moon, there was no moon landing. There was no race to the moon. There was no space race. We're 2024. Is the Earth flat?
Were you asking me?
No moon landing.
And I have to put my disclaimer on as you talk.
I'm thinking that the people would have reverted back to the flat Earth a lot sooner, probably the end of the 70s and the 80s. The moon landing bought the globe time.
Yeah.
Take away the moon landing, there was no moon landing. Kennedy's still alive.
Yeah, maybe. But then let's think
he's 100 years old. They found out he was on Epstein's Island.
When we were kids and in school, they did the Challenger to us. And so that was the way, because people were bored with space because they were taking that shuttle back and forth like it was, like a subway, a commuter train. And so then they had to have an accident. And then I go and do these research channels, and you find out that
it was moving too swimmingly.
Yeah.
Getting to space so easy. And then people would be like, okay, well, when do we go? Yeah, let's go. Hey, my Bill's right. When are we going to have space tourism?
Well, before that,
Mars. You keep going up and down.
They scared everyone with Apollo 13, and then after that one, there was the Challenger.
It could blow up, and then
you see all the same people, like they all have twins now. Like all the shuttle guys that supposedly died have twins, and then Judy Resnick is like a court or a law lady.
I don't know their name.
But they use the same name, and the teacher and stuff. They use you're right. No names. Yeah. I apologize. Yeah. They use the same names as they used to, and they all have twins and stuff. And meanwhile, the other one,
wasn't the teacher that blew up in the Challenger one of the kids in Sandy Hook?
Okay, there's a name you don't want to talk about. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay,
I'm kidding. I'm like,
this is all a joke for fun, but no. Okay, where should we go from here? Let's.
I heard the people who produce Sandy Hook also produce InfoWars. Also produce Info.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, look, you want to talk InfoWars? How about this?
No, we don't. We don't.
No, what I do want to say is this: when I was learning about the lies of the news and the media and stuff, I came across a lot of things where they talk about signs and symbols. I've done many shows on it. And a lot of the channels that I was watching are the ones that were like teaching me about what to look for, all these signs and symbols. And so when I came across these things like, this is the Kabbalah stuff, which we know is no bueno, and they use it in their ads. And then there's this, which they all do to say that the earth is flat, but it's the beginning of Freemasonry. And then they have, the master masons are the ones that do it lower. And so they're trying to make people think that this represents the earth is flat when it's
Vogue.
Right.
Vogue.
Right. And then of course, they're with people that we were told were not, they were, the opposition.
He could use some red clay on his hair you know,
But
but
I'm
he
just
wants to
wondering
walk
why,
around with a toque in his
if
house.
I was taught that this guy is a shill and this guy's a shill, this guy's okay. Like, it doesn't make sense to me
No,
when we just put a
these
blind eye to
guys
these
are
things.
are hanging out like
Oops, sorry.
Santos Bonacci is hanging out with Sasha Stone, and Sasha Stone's in photographs with the Orsini, like the heir of the Orsini Empire, which is one of the 13 families.
And then if you
This
were
is
to
the
look
latest
up,
with Santos Bonacci.
if you were to look up things
He's got to eat.
to make the
Oh my
flat earth
God.
look stupid, you've got this with the foolproof saying he's a fool. You've got this one, which is a failed light experiment. These are all the legends of flat earth that people watch.
Well,
And
these
they're
are
also
basically,
ones,
like
wait,
I
let me
said,
finish. They're also the ones that bring it down. You got this
well,
guy
the
that
point of the
got
matter
donated
is
this
that what are they going to do?
gyroscope,
Have people
and he
going
proved
to
it wrong.
Are they going to have people going to the real, like, measurements and model and geopolitical scientific revision of the heliocentric science of our reality? Or are they going to go for this fly-by-night fast food YouTube culture plant, contain it, make them think it's a pancake with some sort of, like, it's in a snow globe and it's a pancake, and then there's like a big bad ice wall and a huge fiery sun, and or it's a pancake floating with a sun. Let's continue what people think the flat earth is when we say flat earth, like when you hear flat earth. Not this new thing where there's a lot more land. You're in a psychopath's farm. And that's what got flat earth going. So they came in. So when you would type it up, these guys show up and they continue business as usual. That it's like a pancake in a globe, and there's an ice wall. And I know that I blew you away the other day when I said, I don't believe in ice walls. It's like, I don't believe. I don't do believe. Like, I know Christ personally. I know the power of, not like, oh, he's crazy. I know the power of Christ's spirit personally.
Amen.
And, you know, when that kind of personal relationship of knowing, the Pope has warned against it. He said, watch out for those people. And it's like, isn't that interesting? Right after I started talking about that with my audience on YouTube when it was big, it's like, this guy's now warning like all of St. Peter's Square. Anybody who says they got a personal relationship with Christ or God is dangerous. He freaking said that.
Meanwhile, he speaks out of a snake's heads, the whole thing, and he wears the pagan fish hat, and they have like the smoking purses, and they don't even read the Bible. The Bible says don't call anyone father. They say call him father. Only Jesus saves. No, you go in that little booth and you tell all your secrets to some pervert. And
Can I say something about?
You say when then you say 10 Hail Marys, which God says He hates repetitive prayer. They're doing it wrong. The whole freaking thing.
But can I say something about that Pope?
Of course. Yeah.
You know, when you see somebody and the way they look and their age, you're like, you just know as you get closer and closer, you're going to smell their bad breath.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's got that face. You know, it's like he's got a bad, you know that guy's face has bad breath coming out of it, like dragon breath. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Pope Francis. I know he's one of those guys where it's like, come here, my child. And it's just like, it's just dragon fumes coming out of his mouth, stuff that would melt metal.
I did a little video because there was a scene where he had people walking up and they wanted to like kiss his hand, and he kept pulling it away and just like, get out of here.
Oh, he's a tease.
Here, look, this is
he wants it on the lips so he can smell his breath.
Yeah. So for people that don't know, this is where he preaches out of. Look at this.
Yeah, like it
looks like a snake's head.
Now,
and the outside too. If you look at the outside of it, if they have a shot of it,
I mean, it's pretty significant.
Look at that.
I mean,
the snake head.
Yeah, I mean, it's so obvious.
And then this thing behind him is just horrific that he preaches in front of him. That's supposed to be Christ, but if you look this way, it's a lizard head.
that looks like a Baphomet lizard ET. Yeah, like, that doesn't look like Christ at all.
So that's who's heading this. And again, I'm not bashing people if they have a certain religion. What I'm saying is organized religions at the top have all been corrupted. The Catholics, the Jews, everyone, they've all been corrupted.
The education and the debate of whether the Earth is geocentric or heliocentric, and the premier venue for this world you're living in is the Catholic Church. It's the Vatican. Galileo, everything, the audience, and everything comes. Copernicus was a priest. He's a Jesuit. Galileo was, I don't know, he was very Catholic. The Catholic Church was involved with their astronomers. The astronomy today is the Vatican. It's very important that people, pull aside the NASA trapping and the education system and physicists. Education universities, university, academia is Jesuit, right? So it's like the whole concept of going to post-secondary or university or being taught. Like, don't you remember like all the schools in the 1800s and the 1700s? There was like priests teaching. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even you aren't Catholic, there's priests in your school teaching. And then it got secularized, and then the priests came just to visit the class, and then it became Catholic churches, Catholic schools, and and then there was also the departure from the homeschool, but the homeschool master and all that. So the Jesuit colonization system into the Americas with the Indians and with everything was the hands-on, hand-to-hand combat with the mind, education, deliverance. Like Christ saved you. He died on a cross. The earth is round. We go around the sun. I'm going to be your leader because you're a sinner. This thing was big enough where it could control everything while they built the television and while they built like the new confessional, which is every text message, every message you make with your mind or your voice now is you are confessing to the priest in the closet. They hear everything you fucking say.
And you know what? 100% I agree with this, because as it started out, I started seeing things that the phone would do weird. One of them was you could talk about a subject and then get ads for it. And that was freaky when that first started happening. But now literally you can think about something and then you can get the ad for it. And people have experienced it. I know it sounds out there, but it happens. I can't explain it, but we're waiting for the plug, like the Neuralink or from
I'm not
the Matrix.
I'm waiting for it to fail, and it's going to be fun to watch.
I am too, but I'm saying we don't even have to wait for the plug. We're plugged into these now. Somehow it is able to get into.
I think what's going to happen is, like, I saw something today with the FDA saying the monkeypox vaccine. And this is the FDA. So this is
we're not talking about.
It's not Richard.
Start using.
I saw somebody put this out.
Start using code words again.
Saying the moon juice, because you're all going to the moon,
Thank you. Okay, moon juice. I like moon juice.
For the monkeypox.
Moon juice.
Shit. The moon juice for the monkeypox. You know what? I'm suffering from cocky pox.
Okay, that I agree with. Where's my guy? Here,
nobody ever talks about cocky pox.
Here, where's it?
True. Yeah, that's true.
Cocky pox. The monkeypox will kill you if you took the moon juice. Yeah. And if you take the monkeypox moon juice with the rocket to the shoulder, you might kill somebody else who took the moon shot. The moon show, the moon juice. The space.
Let's talk about flat Earth.
Deliverance.
Can we talk about, or let's go into clay? How about clay? Let's get here. It's too much. I can't.
Well, there's nothing. It was like he's monetized right now.
I just got it back. I don't need it.
I didn't say anything.
No,
you didn't. And you got to take it serious.
We should.
Get bananas.
And listen to all the 3-letter companies, and don't listen to us. We're not doctors. Thank you.
Get bananas. So,
okay.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
So, all right.
In your banana republic, banana court proceedings. It's funny how anyways.
Now, did you want to talk about this? What was it? 2 ball in a circle?
Yeah. So basically you were asking me. So it was interesting that I started this thing like I started it. And people get, God started it. And I'm like, whoa, relax. So it's like this resurgence where we all get to take a break and pause before we start doing things to our body. And here's another sun.
Yeah, you posted this the
yeah,
other
so
day.
I'm just putting up like, secondary suns or moons, 2 suns in Antarctica. You're going to have 2 suns in Antarctica. You're going to have cloud cover while they're filming the sun disappear that they're trying to film for 24 hours. Cloud cover is going to come in. Then the sun's going to reappear. You don't know if it's the second sun. And then they're going to go, see, that was a 24-hour sun. And then they'll leave it like that. Or they're going to literally get like Adobe Premiere effects, or they're literally going to get a sun simulator doing a rotation.
And can they put that stuff in the sky? I don't know, because they can do this. This was Trinity, a friend of mine.
Well, they want to do like a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and you have them making skies and putting up fake suns. And it's all after the fake suns and the fake skies. Now they're going to go and film the 24-hour sun. So it's like, again, we have to believe 2 guys are looking at the sun in Antarctica. I don't know how you're going to show that on a computer or on a TV screen, a 24-hour sun. And I'm supposed to go, oh, it's definitive for the 1 billion, 2 or 3 billion people waking up to flat Earth. And that was never the end of my whole flat Earth foray. My whole foray in the flat Earth was basically to end it with a documented event that could be re-edited into a film for posterity and for box office profit, but definitely will be a live event where basically you got your globe and then you're going to have a longitude. I didn't know this stupid marker was so thin. Wow. I thought I was getting a marker. Can you imagine? I went to Dollar Tree. I'm like, I'm going to get a marker. And I'm thinking for $1. And then they give me this Premier Skechers pen. Yeah. What's going on? This isn't what I wanted. Did somebody switch me out? Anyways, because it's supposed to be really effing obvious. I'm supposed to have a marker and then get this done. I'm not supposed to be doing like cross hatching and shading. What the fuck is this? All right. Thanks for the art pen there, Dollar Tree. So that's a longitude right there. Okay.
Let me look. Here,
so you got a circle at the top. I can't even get it on the rind. This is ridiculous. Oh, you know what? I think the Bill Gates appeal.
Oh, that's probably what it is.
Boom, baby.
That's
it's not working.
Yeah.
I just bought this thing. Hold on. Okay, now we got it going. So I'm gonna do the circle on the top. Oh yeah, it's not writing on the orange. This is stupid. I was supposed to get a marker. They're like, see, he can't even prove it on an orange. And then they'll go, it's freaking round. Let's go back to our Round Earth channel.
You know what? We'll fix it and post
it. Go back to our Round Earth channel. It's like,
we'll fix it and post it. You redo it, and I'll splice it in.
Whatever.
All right. Here, I'll make you full screen.
We're going to do it with, the thing is with these round earthers, when it comes to showing them something round, they have a really hard time keeping track. So it's like, here's the longitude. I'm going to have a team here on the 60th. Starting at that longitude. I'm going to have a team here on the 60th in the south. Okay. I'm going to have 2 teams leaving at the same speed, getting to the next longitude, which won't draw with this. It won't even draw on paper. It's like, I'm going to go and get my money back tomorrow. Fucking bullshit. So basically, one team goes like that. And one team goes like that. If you got them both moving at the same speed, they should always be arriving at the same plot point or the same longitude at the same time. Well, maybe like a grace period of maybe 2-3 days, max, weather, whatever. But if the southern team's always like 4 weeks behind getting to the longitude, then that means this thing goes up here and it's way out over here. And we got a much wider slice of a pie. With our time zones and our longitudes, it gets wider, which explains why all the planes fly and northerly route to hub to any continent's point. And there's nothing from Chile to South Africa right under the Antarctic. Because it's maybe not this. Like, here's Chile, there's Antarctica, just go right underneath them. No, they go eh, 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 eh. Like they really go all the way to the top, all the way to here, and then back down as if it's out here, a pancake. And it's just getting wider, the longitude. So therefore, if they're moving at this speed and they're moving at the same speed, they'll always be behind the southern team if it's flat. And this proves if the Earth is round.
Or an orange.
This is the first ever, with today's phones and witnesses, people could access the southern team in the ocean, because most of it's going to be on the ocean. The 60th southern latitude is mostly ocean. The 60th southern northern latitude is like you're going through like Finland and Sweden. You'll be going through people's homes. There'll be people waiting for you with tea. There'll be people cheering you on like you got an Olympic torch. And they'll be able to communicate that they're moving at the same speed, and we'll be able to watch them moving at the same speed on computer and in the corner.
And you're going to be doing
that on it.
You're going to do this experiment, you're saying, in the future here?
This is the only way to prove, without a shadow of a doubt, the Earth is round, like they said, 26,000 circumference, with an adequate input of what we declared the scientific method, which means many people accessing the tools of measurement. And documentation. So of the measurement, we need real-time documentation, people's phones. We're going to have a plane leaving each longitude, a Cessna going to the south to see, okay, that boat is there. I'm going back up. And then next day I'm going to go back out. And then we're going to have a plane leaving for the north going up to that longitude to see if they're there. Okay, they're there. So we're going to have two planes. We're going to have people seeing the plane go, filming the plane go. We're going to have it all hubbing, and all the raw footage hubbing. We're going to do at least 6 longitudes.
Okay.
You're going to find out pretty quickly after the second longitude if the Earth is flat, because they're going to be fucking late, the southern team.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to when you get that together.
So this is it. There's no other where you got a lot of witnesses, and both teams are going to have globers and flat earthers in the southern and the northern. People on the streets are coming out on boats to see if that boat really is at the 60th with the plane. They'll be coming out, and there'll be people docking, and we'll have nights of sushi out there, and we'll have fun. No,
I believe you.
We'll be debating, and we'll be watching their faces as we're always late, not hitting the longitude, or arching too soon and hitting Portugal.
Okay, real quick though, while I have you on the screen, these are 2 things that I captured. One was I was flying, and it appears to me 2 different suns. You've got a white thing up in the sky here, and then at some point it changes to this yellow one down here.
It's a sundog or something else.
I don't know, because the water was let's see, I think back here was a reflection, but one of these was a reflection, but one of them you can see. It's just very odd to me, because there's the land, and yet there was this almost like a sun setting, but then there was the white thing above it. That was like the first.
That's not the reflection of the sun.
Well, there's like a couple of them down there. See, now you see 3, but at the beginning of this, there was definitely like 2 light sources. And this is the first thing I ever filmed and put on my channel. And then after that, I was visiting my parents, and with my camera, I was able to capture this. And it was like a matrix.
What
is
is
it? At night. This is at night. I was trying to shoot.
Wait a minute, that's in the sky?
Yeah, I was trying to shoot this one particular. Here's the tree.
Looks like a hive.
So I was at this park waiting for night, because it was supposed to have
hive geometry.
This alignment of these stars and planets. And so I was set up to take this picture. And what I ended up capturing was this. And this weird hive matrix that reminds me of, like, I even say in this video about like the hologram technology and stuff.
Yeah, that looks like chemtrails or something.
Yeah.
Looks
But
like
isn't
a
that something
cloud
that it created this octagonal, I think, or hexagonal matrix in the sky. So I just put it to a really long exposure and got that.
It's alarming. It's alarming too. And if the Earth isn't like, you need to catch up. Like, if the Earth is not a globe, how serious like is the blowback if someone releases that information and it catches? And when you examine the last 4 years and how they've almost been like a spoiled prince or king child having a tantrum with like, okay, now you're all going to wear this and now you're going to do that. And you're like, what? And you're like, it really fits the bill. It really fits the bill of the tantrum.
There's something that we have to get into, because when anybody definitely sends me money, and thank you very much. My dog just had surgery, emergency surgery. So all this money will be going to helping him. He's doing much better, for people that are curious. But so Melanie asks, can you give your thoughts about the current environment? It's the same people that you were saying, they came in, and you know what's interesting? Matt told me this, I'm sorry, on the phone. He said, you expected the enemy to show up at your door, and they showed up like wolves dressed as sheep. They were like all into the same idea.
Yeah, so we were like trying to. So I was doing the shows, took out found a way to biohack what I saw was very engineered content on YouTube, and there was this whole subculture of alternative news, and the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Orsinis, and Disney, and and so there it was growing. I saw like, this is the future here, and not this guy who's talking in a yippity fast manner, going, "Hey kids, how you doing? No. Today we're gonna do firecracker," and and what everybody was watching at 10 million views. I was just like, this is really a great platform for interesting stuff. It could almost become a university, a new library of information and entertainment that's more highbrow. And so I always treated it like that as an academic, with me introducing, I'll come up with an alternative sci-fi, an alternative view of the world. But the main tenet for this to be real is that all the governments are lying. So it's like, it's very confrontational role playing. Like, people go around with elves. They're not saying, and the government's a bunch of elves too. And, or they're trying to suppress elf technology. They're not doing that. But with this whole flat earth thing, it floats because we say, yeah, because they're lying. And that's like very, so you go through reality saying that the governments they're not in on it that way. It's an autopilot consciousness on, no one's ever going to go up and check to see if the lights are on and someone's home. No one's fucking home. The lights are on. I figured it out. And the minute I went into the attic to see, what's powering the lights, there was somebody there. Like, I knew they were, and they were going to like do blowback on me and try to shut me down. So I had a whole thing. Like, if this is real and they are lying, I should anticipate some sort of operation where they're going to attack me if it keeps getting bigger. So I took out the NASA channel because guy waking up was not getting any traction. So I took out the NASA channel. So I was the NASA channel.
Wait, you had that channel? It was called
NASA? Well, they took out.
That's funny. I like it.
All fair in love and war, and ain't no love, but they took out NASA TV on a channel on YouTube. I was like, I'll take out the NASA channel, idiots. And I'm like, so I took out the NASA channel and then put out Earth-like planet found behind the moon. And then it went boom. It just went boom. Like, I was watching, like, when you see like this, I saw recently somebody attacking me with earrings on, some guy. And I'm like, oh, great, a guy with earrings. And the kind of those earrings where it's those kind of big wedge pieces where they have to make big, huge kind of like.
Those are, I'm sorry, that's a personal pet peeve for me. Those are gross because if you take them out, you just got like hanging skin down there. It's gross.
Yeah, when it's like when it's like, can you imagine being a girlfriend or a guy or a boyfriend to a girl, and you wake up in the morning and she's got these kind of like weird droopy, like dog, like.
And what are they going to look like when you're like
giblets?
50
What
or
do they
60?
call it on
The turkey
giblet
neck.
on a
Turkey
chicken?
neck.
Like,
What are they going to look like when you're like 60 or 70? I mean, it's just...
But down to, you look like Droopy, or you look
well,
like
it's that song. Do your ears hang low? Do they
Dumbo.
wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? No, Boy Scouts, nothing.
I heard somebody was running in the woods once. She didn't have her loop earring in, or her wedge, or whatever it is, and a branch got in while she was jogging, and she ripped it.
Oh, yikes!
And I was
That's
like, and
horrific.
I was close to somebody to hear that story. I was like, I got to change social circles.
Yeah,
So I don't
right.
want to
That's
hear
gross,
this fucking
huh?
kind of life experience. So and then it ripped when I was jogging with my loopy doopy droopies. You know, like
Okay, so
anyway,
we got off topic. We got into ears, but so they sent a bunch of people at you that were doing the same thing, but just they were there.
We were wondering when they were going to come in, and around 2012, we're like, maybe we should create a villain. And they're like, no. I was like, no, let's create a villain. So then we put up, my buddy James was going to be this planet hopper character where we've been hopping planets, and I was going to be the flat Earth guy, and we were going to go to war on the internet. But flat Earth got bigger faster. And then there's this guy that came out with a concave Earth. I won't mention his name.
Thank you.
And he's been in and out of jail for threatening to assassinate the president. Very strange character. Every president he's wanted to assassinate, and he gets out. It's really weird. It's like some sort of weird culture agent, drill sergeant, putting a drill out in real time scenario in reality. I don't know what's going on. And he started attacking me, and I thought it was really funny. I knew the guy was bullshit. He's trying to say that we're in an egg, we're in a concave, we're in a skater's ramp, you know, like a skate park Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh man, like we see the
skate park Earth. That's a new one. I hadn't heard that.
You know, it was concave, so it was going up around, like we were inside, you know, some sort of wall, you know, and it's just stupid. And he had really big budget for graphics, and it was really cool to watch. But it was almost like, okay, that's a Death Star. They live inside the Death Star, floating in space. Seen it. And he was really angry with me, and he pronounced himself as Christ. Lord, Lord Christ.
Yeah, that's no.
He said I was the devil, and I was anti him, and he went really like he was Christ. He had to kill me. He had to get rid of me. He was spitting at the TVs, at the screen, going, Matt Boylan, I'm going to get you. And he was a big guy. And I was like, you know, like, as another big guy I have to like friggin' take out. And I don't want to talk about him too much, but I thought he was like a character out of Saturday Night Live put in there, and I could play with this. And we did. And it was funny, but we didn't call too much attention to it because it was ridiculous. I wonder if they were collecting like my reaction to that to mine the way I was behaving for the big operation that I suspected came in. Because like I was telling you yesterday, when suddenly these two characters came out with my videos that had more videos of me, not on my channel, on their channel, I felt like I was being handled. And also a guy coming in just taking everything and just spinning in his own way with it's kind of a Hollywood sort of conventional script writing tone and narration that I recognize from being an actor. And I was like, okay, here we go. It's starting. And I was like, Sandrine, that was the girl I was dating at the time, I think we got it. And then it was like, it's happening. But at that point, she left me. She wasn't around. So when it really started, I was actually alone, and I was pushing it after I broke up with her to go, okay, what would I be doing if I wasn't in a relationship? Oh yeah, this. And so I went full on. These two guys showed up, and the way they showed up, I was like, wow, I've got like 3 musketeers now. These guys are 2 real smart guys. They got a good, classy presentation. This should do it. And I'm like, we'll be a team. I'll run these guys, blah, blah. And I was like, finally, I'm not alone anymore. I had one guy called Rory Cooper who was doing graphics before these clowns showed up. And he was in South Africa, extremely intelligent man. And Rory Cooper started the Flat Earth with me. And a guy, Cesar, out of Germany. these guys. And they came in on the channel. I saw them, and then they made comments, and they were like, this is it. And they went off in there, and it was just us. And when these two guys came in end of 2014, 2015. So I was like 2015. One of them already had one of my comedy routine at like 500,000 views. I was in a book he was selling. I was like, what the heck is going on here? And then this other guy came out with Hollywood sort of cadence and tone with a Reader's Digest of the flat earth. And I was like, this guy's good. This is going to be a good situation, or this is an operation. So what are going to be the signs of an operation? Well, they're going to make me choose one or the other, and we're not going to have a manageable team. And if that's the case, then it's a trap for me to go with somebody who's going to be later, exposed as a pedophile or a anti-Semitic or whatever they're going to do. I never went that way. So when they had their fake fight on Facebook, and I saw two grown men going, take it back. No, you take it back. I was like, these guys are two actors pretending they're having a fight, literally saying, you take it back, Mark. And I was like, you take it back, Eric. Double this, double on you and your mom. And I was like, this isn't the guys that wrote all this. This is bullshit. This is a fake argument. Then I was like, now I'm going to wait to see if they come back on their own and say, okay, Matthew, you got to choose me or him. They both did that. They both did that. I was like, okay, this is an operation. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a war with both of them as fakes. And that made it blow up. So it was back to who's the villain? Well, the villain are going to be the people dressed up in sheep's clothing. The wolf's dressed up as a shepherd here, or, so I'm like, stick to my thesis. This was a thesis that could never be done in a university. And that was part of my thesis, was like, the villain will show up. I was thinking conventional, like Earth is round. They're going to attack me, try to get me in a movie, smear me, offer me money, whatever. It never got that way. It seemed like they were always trying to contain it. And then it got so serious because I think they were profiling that I can't be bought. And then they literally, it felt like after these guys had their fight, I was on Facebook, and it must have been a week in like end of March, beginning of April. And I sat there at my computer like it was my war console on this thing, information war, like I was Luke Skywalker or whatever. I was in the, what do you call them there? Those fighter jet wing, X-wing. I was in my X-wing, whatever. And I'm watching this thing unfold. It's happening, I'm watching Facebook page, like Flat Earth Mathematics, Flat Earth Group, Flat Earth Empire, Flat Earth this. And they're going up left, right, people wanting to follow me, befriend me. They got a page. They want me on their page. I must have seen like between me and Beverly at the time, because Beverly was in the picture and she was watching this. It must have been like, I don't know, like she was watching these things go up like 100 a week. Videos being made. We were sitting in a room laughing at like more and more flat earth videos and freakouts and content and pro this or sketches or videos or music. And we were just like, then we wanted to do 10 best flat earth videos of the week. And then we'd have like 40, and we thought, oh, we'll always have 40, right? We never anticipated we would have to sit through 3,000 fucking videos. We just never thought it was just going to keep going. And everybody thought, oh, we'll put it to rest and blah, blah, and we'll make a movie. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to participate in it. And I made these people think I was going to participate in it. But the way these pages showed up on Facebook in 2 weeks, it felt to me like, okay, what was 2014, the year before all these pages? I started imagining remotely there was probably in 2013 as they're watching, because it's not a globe. So this is a serious like intruder alert on the empire that controls your mind. Everything that comes out of your mind and your choices during the day are on a globe. So saving the planet and all this stuff. And I'm not going to have babies. I'm going to get a dog, like here. I mean, there's plenty of fucking resources. There's more land. Like, you can go fuck as many guys or one guy and have as many babies as you want. Like, it's like the whole thing's a scam for the markets to have a value. There's abundance, and you are in a mental prison. That's exactly what Satan would do. And that's where earth becomes heaven. Heaven becomes earth. It's all revealed, right? And so the spell is broken. 1,000 years. You got a different take, and I'm thinking, well, we're at the end of it. And
we talk a lot on my show.
But let me get back to
go ahead.
So I'm watching this operation, and it felt like in 2014, I could see a boardroom. Okay, you've all been selected. You passed your audition. So what we're doing here is we're going to be starting a new phenomenon called the flat earth based off this guy. We want you to go home tonight, study this guy, watch what he's saying, come up with your own version. And these guys were on a YouTube, Google salary probably. And the reason why, you go, why would they make all this stuff? They're now the algorithms. I was the algorithm. They had nothing to contain me. Flat earth, me. There was nothing. Now, if it was like organic, like Cesar and Rory Cooper and more got in, it was an operation I saw on Facebook in 1 week. Faceless people, never will meet them, never would meet them, all popping up, different types, flat earth cooking, flat earth gymnastics, flat earth like music, and different pages, just all in 1 week. And when Trump ran, I started seeing like hashtag flat earth Donald Trump. And it was hashtag flat earth Donald Trump. It was Donald Trump and flat earth, all on Facebook. And people going, he's going to disclose it. He's going to say the truth. And it was like, this guy's going to get elected off the Alex Jones and flat earth metric. Yeah. And Alex Jones is basically now been pushed aside by the flat earth. This is 2016. It's raging. Right. Okay. It is going. Okay. This is far from 2009. And I can't do the top 10 videos of the week. There's too many to watch. It's out of control. I'm in Arabic now and Japanese. I'm being translated. And they're doing whack-a-mole. Anytime I'm re-uploaded, get rid of the video, censor the video, take it down, take down the channel, find a way. And I'm being eviscerated at the same time while other channels are re-uploading. And now it's somewhat under control, right? So I'm back on your channel. And it's like and it was a real shit show. And I was being told I was divisive and I was crazy for saying this was an operation. And I said, these guys are all here to be part of some culminating point where they're going to fail a challenge. And then they're going to publicly admit that's their job. That's their assignment. They get paid $120,000 a year just to be online saying it's flat. But their end conclusion as a YouTube culture character or culture plant, pretending to be a regular person with a channel, is to sink the flat earth in a staged, situation. And I believe that that's what the flat earth, the final experiment is. The fact that they call it the final, and the fact that I've got to relegate again back to a belief status with no scientific method, two hosers looking at a light on their camera with, I don't know, like a cherry picked crowd of like witnesses at a point in Antarctica, while they're saying a glacier is going to melt. Like, if that doesn't sound like they put one of the sun simulators up there, you know what I mean? And it's 50 degrees warmer there. So could they have another thing in the sky after they built fucking fake suns? I don't want to digress, but the point of the matter is that it is not two circles, one ball. This is the first. To prove the earth is round is go to the moon and take a picture of the earth is round. Mm-hmm. But there's never been a measurement tracking with many access points for the public to see people measuring and then record it and say, yeah, they did come through Nunavut, or they did come through Stockholm, or wherever the 60th is on the north. I saw them out on the open sea. They hit that little island. There was that checkpoint. The plane did see them. They were always late. They do not want this ground measurement expedition or experiment or proofing. It's basically a proofing that the earth is round at all. So they keep coming up with these characters whose job it is to like, get a laser, and then no, it's too wide, and they're like, oh, they're not, and they're just like, they're not measuring the wave, and then the boat is hidden by the wave. And it's like they keep doing these bullshit, and I called them all out on it. And I've been calling them all out on it, that they're going to be doing that, and they're going to fake that, and they're going to do that, and they're going to fuck it up that way. I called out behind the curve while they were all on Facebook saying this was going to be a disclosure movie. This is going to be a pro Flat Earth movie. So they got everybody to go out and buy the tickets to. And buy the tickets to see them like look stupid on camera. And so that's Jaron's job. He's been hired. He's part of that 2014 come into the boardroom. You've all been brought here today. The reason why we cast you to work for Google is it's a special project. We're going to be doing an alternative sci-fi or alternative view of the world. It's the Flat Earth, but we need to contain it for security reasons because this thing is growing. And so you're allowed to talk about this. You're not allowed to talk about that on your channel. So then they would have a list. Okay. And so when it came to me, you could see that they're only allowed to say certain things about me and cherry pick moments so that they could take any one of my very charismatic, eccentric mannerisms, idiosyncrasies, and try to turn it into a little piece of propaganda. This guy's unhinged or whatever. It's like, no, I'm a polymath. I can do many things professionally. I'm like a designer, painter, actor, political scientist, comedian, producer, music engineer, musician, builder, and it goes, and I complete the circle. My whole point of my life is I got the ability to learn things, and so I'm going to learn as much as I can. I'm not going to go off fakery to know. And so the globe was like, realizing that was like the moment where I could become extremely sharp with what I'm going to devote my fucking time to when it comes to discerning what's real. It was at that point where the world was finally, oh, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. This is the kind of mentality. This is what they think is real. This is how they think that it's real. This is what they go on. None of it's the scientific method. How do we do this? And I'm the guy who brought it. All these guys attacking me, like I said earlier, who have a round earth channel. You only have a round earth channel because of me, you loser. It's like, it's like,
I have a question for you, Matt. What do you think about the moon map?
I think it's credible from what I've seen. If that's the time, I haven't went. Okay, so to prove that, you have to take the actual coast to coast distance of Russia, that seashore to, Greenland seashore to Newfoundland seashore to, Massachusetts seashore, and the size of these continents, the way they say it by, like really the math, because what they show you on the globe and mapping over a globe is incorrect. Put it on a flat surface, see if those sizes are relatively the sizes and shapes that superimpose, and then show that video as opposed to, look, it looks like Europe, it looks like that. You got to do all that in a PowerPoint, just slides, and then I can go, oh, okay. What's great about all this is,
can I say something though? The problem I have with all of our maps is the same people that we know lied to us about the globe, lied to us about everything else. We now have to take verbatim that
lie about my cocky pox.
What do you call it? The UN map, which we now say is the flat Earth map. But how do we know that? You know what I mean? Once you get up,
I would say when you look at like the size of Russia and Canada on maps or on the globe, that's not the sizes, and the relative proximity is the United Nations sizes in depiction to.
But again, we can use that and say that, but again, we don't know. We're still using the same information.
No, you don't know if Italy's a boot.
The same people.
You don't know if Italy's a boot.
Yeah. Just the fact that certain things in my timeline have changed and moved and stuff. We haven't even discussed the Mandela.
Oh, you think they're doing Mandela on Italy, and then Italy's going to become like something else?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it'll
like
turn
a top hat.
Well, it's already changed the shoe, and then, anyways,
no, it was always a top hat, and I'm like, no, it was a boot.
And now it's like a high heel almost to me.
It's a high heel. It's a boot. Whatever. Yeah. It's a queen boot.
Yeah. It's a Queen boot.
Sorry about the band Kiss. You know what I mean?
But so I guess I'm trying to picture what you're saying here. For me, it's let's see, I had a photo of it or a painting or a picture. I don't know, one of them, an image. Do you know when you look up image now, it's not a photo is the first thing. It's like
I can hear you, but I need to go and do a little thing. Put on a big image. Cancel me out for a second.
Okay.
But I'm going to hear you and talk to you, but I have to go do something.
There. Okay.
Okay.
So you're not on
I'm
screen.
picking my nose like Anthony Fauci.
Yeah, we're not seeing it.
No, I'm kidding.
Thank
but
God.
You got to go to my channel, see Anthony Fauci pick his nose, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's really disgusting. I've seen it elsewhere.
And he eats it.
Yes. He does. I used it in a video one time. Yeah. But so I don't know if he's somewhere he can see this, but my thinking is this. Biblically, this is how the earth is described, and it's on pillars and it's stationary. It's not going anywhere. And so it's talked about that there's waters above and waters below. And so if you've got a firmament that has to go all the way around, and we know that the sun and the moon and the stars are attached to it, I'm saying when you look at, say, the planetary maps, a lot of times they show planets and stuff down here on the globe that you can't see. And so there's potential on some level that, because you can read the book of Enoch and it talks about portals, that the sun and the moon go in this area too, or somehow come out in like Pac-Man and come back through here. I don't know how it all works, but if you want to talk a flat earth.
Now, this drawing here, is this like Peter's drawing? Is this Matthew's or James, Thomas? Which disciple?
I'm not
disciple did this one.
I don't believe that this
is
in
Christ's
the Bible.
Drawing?
I don't think so.
Okay, so where is this? In which Bible do they have this drawing?
They don't that I've seen. Is that your question?
So
I'm
here
just
we go
saying,
again. We're into an image. That's
correct.
A drawing. That's like ruling your mind. So it's like, I really think the muscle I have, and I've seen with men, is that with Newton and Carl Sagan and Arthur C. Clarke and Einstein and everybody in the flat earth, is the habit of man is to
you're back on screen. You're back on screen, just so you know.
They really need to define the edge of the property line.
Okay.
And I guess growing up with sisters and just being hammered with feminism, Rockefeller feminism, all this time, I'm like, I have that temperament, so I can have kid glove it, but I don't want to fall for it. So it's like, do the measurement first, because it's like putting the cart before the horse. It's like, and then this is the shape. It's like we're all on our keyboards, we're all on the computer screens, and now Jaron is going with this clown. Sorry, Will, you're a clown. I saw you. You could have interrupted me, but the point of the matter is that I'm still open to do stuff with you and clown around on the 60th Southern, and we'll have a stare off. I'm talking to Will Duffy right now, but here we are again. Here we are again, like having to, after all this, I got to look at Will Duffy and Jaron. And it's like, that's not science. That's not, you know what I mean? That's YouTubeism. That's totally propaganda.
So when are you planning on doing your orange? I guess I'll call it.
I don't know. I'm waiting for the phone call. The idea here is that we are as loud as possible, as this is the only, I mean, you could do the 50th, you could do the 40th, but it gets to be a wider diameter, so it takes longer. And I like being on the 59th because all the corvettes from all the enemy warships that are supposed to be enemies like North Korea and the US are going to be right by each other, coordinating with each other to watch us. You watch. People don't understand what's going to happen if I have this happen. There'll be like a lot of ships showing up on the 59.9th southern latitude while this team goes around. So you go, oh, the southern team's going to be boring. Always on the water, open water. No. You're going to see a lot of military, a lot of Navy. Like you're going to see all the people that are going to blow up our world and kill us in a World War III, all hanging out down there. Like making sure we don't go over the 60th. This is the chicken fight. Not watching Jaron look at it like a spotlight or in a green screen. And Will Duffy going, it's 24 hours. And then Jaron's like, son of a bitch. It's like, 24-hour sun. And he's just like, oh my God, my whole life's been wasted thinking it was flat. And then that's his assignment. We all know it. I called it out years ago. And so the clown show stops with this. That was the whole point of me starting the Flat Earth, was this. And I find it interesting that they'll go and do every other stupid little laser experiment and go, well, 2 circles, 1 ball. It's like 2 latitudes, 1 sphere. It's like, well, whatever. We're going to go and shoot a laser at Antarctica. It's just, that's not what the guy who made your living intended to do with your living or your life now, which is making money off this guy's whole thing.
All right. So you were saying earlier that you're going to be doing some kind of like show or debate or something on this.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing the Flat Earth debate. It's scheduled the 27th of December. Going to be doing it in a speakeasy or rage room. The tickets right now, I'm in negotiation with both. It's going to be in Daytona, right between Christmas and New Year's. Always an interesting time for stuff to happen. And it's going to be the follow-up and the death knell on this whole thing. I don't even need to do 2 circles, 1 ball.
And are you going to be putting that online for the rest of us to see?
That will be for sale only. That one's going to be Cirque du Soleil. You don't get to see it.
I'll have to pirate it or something. Okay.
Well, it's going to be the start. It's going to be the start of the tour.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
We might film it and then sell it, but either way, we're not just this one. Not handing over. This one's going to be good though. And mind you, if you do get a copy of it, you'll be able to play it in front of 100 people.
Right.
Right.
I was kidding about the pirating, at least on this.
Yeah. No, this is going to be the pièce de résistance. This is like, it's all going to be about that phone call.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Are there any other questions that we didn't hit in the chat? And I've got to thank my wonderful friend Melanie once again. Not only did she get
clay, by the way. Melanie got clay, by the way.
Oh yeah. Without talking about anything medical, talk about how you're experimenting with this clay and how it's helping.
Well, without talking about anything medical. So, okay. So talking about this and then releasing it on TV and then having everybody kind of looking at me like different after in Canada. I wasn't aware that my life was going to be attacked physically. And by the grace of God,
amen,
all around us, 360, you know what I mean? Like maybe looking up is globe God and looking 360 at God is the real God, right? And then maybe a little up too and a little down, like, you know what I mean? So things change when you change, your world. I got hit by a car in 2010. I did a video immediately the day after. People go, oh, your pants are ripped. It's like they were always ripped. So it was but there was no blood. It was ripped pants I was wearing. So, and I was deformed. And one of the things I was using back then was acupuncture and clay, kale and clay. And I've been using clay ever since I was painting floors, big floors where I found out the earth was flat from painting floors. And it was almost like a prayer I made. If I get this one floor contract, God, tell me what's the secret beneath the floor. And it was literally, it's flat. The floor is flat. It's just, I actually made a prayer to go, I'm going to get this floor, give me this floor. And then what's the secret? And then it was like, and then I'll do your will. And so I found out through flat earth, I found out through floors that the earth was flat for me and yet to be debunked. And everybody blow back on this 2 circles, 1 ball, ground proofing, first ever from the ground measurement proof. The earth is round and a globe. And so they are terrified of this. Says a lot. Drowning it out. This has been going on since 2016, 2 circles, 1 ball. And, basically, I had some cops that were parked in an area where my bike was coming. I didn't know they were there. They were in unmarked cars. And right where they were parked, I didn't know they were there. A car came out of an alley, almost killed me. I hit it before it hit me. I went flying. These cops came out of the unmarked cars like they were going to come pick me up and take me away. That's when I realized, okay, everything is different. This is after I blew my mouth off in Europe about H1N1 in 2009. This is after I released it on TV. This is after I bit the hand in Hollywood. And I didn't take a couple projects that I knew were going to be like culture traps later on with the flat earth. Like they were going to get me in this and it would compromise me later on talking about this. They tried to do that with one role that I did in acting, comedy where I play a gay closet case, macho guy who happens to be gay. It's a comedy. They tried to
I saw that in my research. I came across.
Yeah, they tried to cherry pick scenes and make it look like I was doing soft core. I was like, no, this is an MTV comedy about like different sexual sketches. And so a show called Undressed. And I did it because I was like, oh, I get to play like a guy who's a bully against gay people who's gay. So I thought that was
an actor. You're trying to learn.
Yeah, and I was like, but this is after I gave a paper to CSIS in Canada, which I said give to the CIA about 9/11 being an inside job, and it was the week of 9/11. I had meetings with them and everything, and then I got this role, and I was like, oh, this is going to come back probably to haunt me.
Yeah,
and
it does.
Shortly after, I found out about flat Earth. And that was about the only thing they had was like, well, make it look like it's gay porn. And I'm like, oh, it's fucking lame. And it's like, they don't have me on an Epstein camera. I don't have a criminal record.
The only good actor. The only thing that when I like look for negative things, everyone will play the same, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't know if I had to feed my family, if I would have done the role, but then again, it might have like shot you up to some new role and you would have been on another show.
Actually, I did it going, this is going to come back later on. So let's go through this. I want to see how this comes back because I'm still a good actor. And did my job, blah, blah, whatever. And got in arguments with the director. I was trying to do funny things, and he was like, "No, do it more the replay." Yeah. I was like, "No, that's gay."
It's supposed to be like an after-school special, serious thing,
I was like, "I'm not doing it that way. That's too gay, man. Let's do this kind of funny." Because I had a funnier version. He was like, I didn't like his takes and shit like that. And it's like, whatever. He never worked again. He was a real nerd, and I did other things too. I also, I played a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. I played Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones. I'm not Brian Jones. I played Robert F. Kennedy Robert F. Kennedy. No, I'm not Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s father, but I played him. You know what I mean? I played him.
Yeah.
And so, and I did a very good job that it was so good. They thought that, oh, that was you. I thought that was documentary footage. And I'm like, I can't even get credit when I'm doing my job as an actor. They think it's real stock footage of the person in real life.
It's a compliment, but it doesn't help you get a job. That's
I can't. It doesn't help me get a job. And so Flat Earth for me was really like the coup d'etat, the coup. And it was basically, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to make a counterculture. And
thank you.
I'm going to wait for somebody to debunk these absolutes about what I've observed. And, it opened up so much, and the clay was part of it. And it got me to a point where I had to now heal from a weird car accident. And every time I got injured, I got this, I used this clay. And then I got diagnosed with a tumor in the ear from the impact to my head. And then it was like, you got to get your head opened up to get the tumor out. And I'm like, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at how they do the surgery. I'm like, I'm not convinced at all. Then I find out the doctor that wants to open up my head, and I got 6 months to do it or I can die. He's the guy who sold a patent to DARPA with voice to skull technology through artificial cochleas, the hearing bones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy, the guy who wants to open up my head after I got hit in a suspicious car accident on a bike. He's the guy who owns the patent for voice to skull mind
So
control.
you're thinking he's going to like do some total recall?
I'm going to have a fucking
thing
thing. He's going to put his thing in my ear.
All right. Well, at least
he's going
not
to
up the nose like they did with
or he's going to give me an electric shock. Can you imagine like in your ear, like tinnitus or, like, okay, turn on the tinnitus. And it's like,
so what'd you end up doing? Just
acupuncture in the clay. And then this went on for 8-9 years. And then we escaped COVID, like the US, because we didn't feel safe being a foreigner with my wife. Non-essential, essential. I was like, oh, bye-bye, artist and flat earther. You're right.
They're unnecessary.
So we're going to go to Mexico. And I think it was a month into COVID. I felt something in my ear and I was like, I think the tumor broke off. And then I had Katie, my wife, take her tweezers and she said, oh God, I think I see it. She took her tweezers and she pulled it right out.
Was it one of those bugs from Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan?
It looked like a fucking weird dead bug. I'll tell you that. It was hairy. It had skin. It looked like red sawdust. It was squamish, like scabby material. It was really and that was the thing they were going to cut my head open for.
You get this with that description. Vomiting tiger.
And it was so disgusting. I was like, oh, I got to throw it out. And I was like, I should have held on to it. Because now when I go see an ear doctor, I'll go, what do you think? And it's like, can you write me a paper saying that the cholesteatoma is gone? And they'll go, well, honestly, I can't say you've ever even suffered from cholesteatoma.
Really?
I don't see any cholesteatoma. I have another doctor you could go see. And they're going to go reach for the psychiatrist, right? Because I told them about the clay. I told them that I took out the tumor. And then they're going to go and reach for the psychiatrist phone. So now I'm going to be, okay, I got someone who healed themselves, thinks he suffered from something. Can you declare him insane? So you're like, oh, wow. I got to fucking leave. He's not going to give me a note saying that but I have the original. I went and saw an ENT in Mexico. And he was really like upset that I came and saw him. And I was saying that I healed myself. It was really weird. And what happened was basically the tumor came out. I had like an overproduction of sebum, I guess, which would be the earwax or skin cells, and probably the earwax. And it just pooled. And it was very humid state, wouldn't dry, turned into chronic infection. Went and got eardrops from a person who's not an ENT in Mexico. Was an oil. I was feeling like rubber for like months. I had to go see an ENT to put a solvent in to break up the oil, try to dry it up in a humid septic Mexican state in the Gulf. Was not working. Checkpoints everywhere. Needed to get a doctor's note because we overstayed our visa. We were in an application to become residents. Needed a doctor's note saying I had to get to a dry climate at a higher elevation. Going through COVID checkpoints, everything. And I convinced my wife to get away from the ocean because I said there was going to be a tsunami with the Canary Islands volcanic explosion. She started getting worried. She said, I don't like the stress. I was like, this is my shot to go look for clay. We drove for thousands of miles so I could put clay on my head because I was stuck with this con job 1984 in Mexico. And I didn't want to use their antibiotics. It was going to kill me. And we drove and drove and drove. And I knew what I was looking for. And I knew I was looking at the world differently. And I literally drove into backwoods roads into a country I don't know, but I know because I know the land. And she was yelling at me while the sun set, coming out of a town going, you're lost. Your instincts suck. I'm like driving and I'm just like taking her shit. And I'm like, and I hit the pedal and she's like, what are you doing stopping here? I'm like, and I get out of the car and there's a red glow everywhere. The sun's setting and it's extra red and pink. It's like all the ground is red. And I just pick up the red and I spit in it. And I go, we're staying here. I found it. And that was it.
Nice.
It was an abandoned house with a for rent sign. I'm going to stay here, put this on my ear. I'm going to stop this pus and mucus combination and suck it all out. Every day at 3 p.m.
It's a bold move. It's a bold move to do that. Yeah. Just grab
every day at 3 p.m. when I was supposed to put the drops in, that's when it would leak. This ENT told me that it was no longer inside the middle ear, but it was in the mastoid, the canal. And I was like, oh, you mean where the droplets of the antibiotics you've been prescribing have been piercing first? So you've penetrated my mastoid with a chronic infection with bio-nanomedicine. Oh, wow. So every day at 3 o'clock when I was supposed to take my medicine, if I didn't, it would leak. So I would put the clay on, and she would be like exploring different like shades of pink and red, putting it on her hair. My son be playing in the dirt with his toys, and I'd be designing this place, and I'd be refining this clay, and I'd be putting it on my ear. And I slowly broke this 3 o'clock appointment with like bio-nanomedicine that would cause an infection and leakage out of my ear. I broke it. And then it slowly dried up the middle ear. And then I could hear, and I was like, oh, that's how I sound on the guitar. Horrible. And I was like, and I started rebuilding my ear. And then I found other colors not too far away, another property over. Somebody said, well, there's an area where there's gold clay. And I was like, what does the gold clay do? And so then I started classifying each different color of clay that I would find, blue, green. And I was trying to figure out, like, they all have medicinal properties. So what's the key here? And it was so simple. Tell me the color of your disease. Tell me the color of your wound or your injury or your condition. And I'll use a complementary color to that color of infection in clay. So it was applying the Itten color theorem, Itten color wheel. So if it was like really red and dark, I could use green. I could use blue. I could use yellow. You know what I mean? Like, so I could use different. And depending on what it was, whether it was from an insect or self-inflicted and then an infection or the C word, I would basically find out what the color was. I would go ask your doctor what color it is. He's not a doctor if he doesn't know the color of your disease. If they can't even tell you the color of what you're suffering, the infection, they don't know what they're looking at inside you. And that's a red flag. Go see somebody else. Find me the color. I'll find you the complementary color in clay. And so we started applying that outside the body, on the skin. And depending on the depth inside the body, we would make thicker applications. So the thicker the application was, let's say it was this thick, it would go deeper to repair cells. So it was repairing the cells. And while it's going in wet, repairing the cells, and it just has this close affinity to the human body, kaolin clay is like the most like the human anatomy in composition than anything in nature. And the reason why is it's a living bandage repair package for the human nature, for the human body. But not just that. You could put it on a frog who's busted his leg. You could put it on a puppy who busted his leg, a horse, and all of them heal rapidly. I would put out well water that would be water table that would come through the clay bed that I was living on. And then after the rain, it would be so pure. I would go down there, be alkalinized to a steroid level, super pure, clean, because clay pulls out poison. They use it on toxic spills. They even use it on radiation poisoning after cancer treatment.
And don't forget, we're supposed to be made of clay, just like Gumby.
And then and then you could just see on an old Bible, because they're removing the word clay from the Bible. That's their number one word they're removing right now. You could see the healing process and regeneration, and you would see like how they would choose like a bird, a cat, ants. I would put a bowl of water, and that same water would have clay in it. Same water, one had clay in it.
And how do you spell
which one did the animals drink from?
Right, obviously it would be the ones with the clay in it, right?
They drank from the clay.
Yeah. And how do you spell that type of clay?
So many cross species are drinking from it. I'm going to start drinking and eating clay. And then I felt like I'm turning into a rock. Like I'm going on 55.
Is it kaolin? How do you spell that? Clay.
Kaolin.
Okay, yeah. So they had it right. They were checking. They were asking.
No, I looked older 6-7 years ago. And now I released all. So I found all this clay in 2022. Put up the channel right away. The missus was like, you can't make those claims. And I was like, I'm making them. And I was like, I'm not going to waste time with the flat earth on this one. I know this because she doesn't realize she's been complaining about the bed at the hotel, wherever we were staying, or in the house, full of clay in the morning. Because I would put it on for like tendonitis from painting floors. on my neck when I have neck pains. I was using the clay for chemical burns overnight for our carpal tunnel. And she'd be like, there's clay all over the bed. And she would like yell at me about the clay. And I used to always tell her, like, if I ever find some clay, you better watch out. And
I have a
did
question.
I find clay.
There's a question on the chat. Do you have a color palette?
Yeah, I got a color palette right now. I'm going to take some out right now. I mean, this is some of the makeup line. Let's see if I could.
And again, as I put on the disclaimer, this is just him experimenting. Check with your doctor.
This is, I think, copper. And this is great for pimples. It's the pink. The color here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's not so good with this lamp and the I think it's the StreamYard. But we basically, we have, this is the blue. It's the gray blue. When it gets wet, it goes grayish blue. That's what I had just before, and I use that for my teeth. And that's what they use in teeth, that clay. Then they put SLS, sodium lauryl sulfate. Then they put like citric acid and formaldehyde in your teeth, and they poison that stuff when that stuff is ample. This is I believe it's the gold. No, this is this is the chocolate mousse, the beige.
Yeah.
And then we have a lot more of the pink. Not the best.
And then
you can see it, Matt. You can see it at Power Clay.
So I'm already getting a lot of people asking if there a place that they can. I mean, not to make it a commercial, but is there a place they can get your clay?
Black. Yeah, you can get the clay by basically emailing. So right now we're not going on the internet, and the reason why is because look what happened with the Flat Earth. So right now, since I released it, it's like a team of parasites, kind of like in 2014 with the Flat Earth, are now brainstorming how they're going to deal with the clay being released, because I don't go to the pharmacy for anything. I don't use shampoo.
Yeah, we don't either.
Soap, I don't use it's all clays for different applications. I send you a menu by email. It's all crypto email. So it's Proton email. So it's math. So it's powerclay@proton.me. I send you the whole website via email. So it's basically a deck, which is the future because of all the swamp of spam, fake websites and algorithm manipulation. PDF, magazine of all the types of clays, what they do, pricing, specials, really cool photos, the history of the whole thing. And
so basically everyone, they want, if you're interested in his clay, email him. And
and you can use it you can use the red on your hair. I've got some.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm serious. We're going to get some clay from you, because here's my shameless plug. My wife has soap that she makes, and this is her website. We are online.
Yeah, you need to now. So what we're doing now is like, oh, you make soap. So it's like now one of your suppliers for one of your ingredients, we're creating the closed parallel economy.
I like it, because she does make a clay soap right now, and I'm sure it would improve if we ended up with even better quality clay.
Yeah, and I've got some raw granule form red. I mean, I've got the black too so I put the red in water, soak it in there until it becomes like sticky and soupy, and I put it in my hair, and I'll just leave it in there way longer than shampoo, like 2-3 hours, and my hair grows back, grows thicker. I get my original hair color back, which is ash blonde. And then I follow up my red with basically my black or my dusk. And then basically I let that dry. And that's like a conditioner, replenisher, hair follicle regenerator. And then I basically get my blonde hair back. It's supposed to be white.
So two things.
No dye, nothing.
3 things. One is I put in the chat, my wife's, this is her soap store if you're interested. But could you repeat the email?
So powerclay@proton.me and CC me at mathpowerland@gmail.com. And Math Powerland is where you're going to get your Flat Earth imagery, prints, limited editions, posters, and also I'll send you the Teespring link. And I'm also selling basically the entire channel they took down that started the flat earth with the thousands and thousands of hours of short films and videos, all edited and produced by me. All the best parts were recut and edited and extracted. And when you see me saying something's going to happen in the future, it cuts to it happening in the future. And it's a 15-part, 15 episodes, 2 hours each episode. I was selling it online, giving it to people for free with the clay purchase or buying the photo or painting shirt. I had it on private share on YouTube. YouTube found out I was running this little speakeasy with alternative truth material, and they shut down the whole channel. Took down.
Yeah,
the
it
whole
doesn't
channel.
matter if it's on.
It was a private share. It wasn't even public.
They don't care. Yeah.
But I have the entire channel recut, edited with. I mean, it's a super cast. I've got Bolsonaro, Trump, Barack Obama, Elon Musk, Norm Macdonald, Kyrie Irving. I mean, I've got everybody, Trudeau, the Queen of England, everybody's in this movie. I managed to get all these people to say flat Earth. Do you understand?
No,
it's
that
my
sounds
movie.
great.
It's my movie. So I edited this movie. People were loving it. It was basically the NASA channel, all the best parts, cut and edited where I'm telling you this is happening in the future, this is happening, and then it happening. It's pretty crazy. Like, you'll never see this style of movie making. And I will send that out with a clay purchase by USB key if you want that.
I have
the USB.
Two more questions. One is for myself. Are you okay to stick around a little bit longer? I need to run and do a bathroom break real quick. I could put up a 4-minute.
I could do another 15 minutes, do a bathroom break, come back, close it up.
Yeah.
And then do a Q&A. And then basically I got to get going. I got a dinner meeting.
Okay, so let me do this. I'll throw that up there and then we'll come back. Before I go, someone was asking about the plumbing, but I think what you do is you get it out and you don't put it down the drain. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, the plumbing? I would basically, have people say, oh, it'll clean the pipes, like I would put a sieve there or block it and then collect it. And you can reuse the clay to a certain degree. You don't want to do it too much, but you'd also end it as a work of art as well. So it could all be part of a creative process. That's amazing about this clay. And the best part of it is that it is a construction material. It is an art material. It used to make cars and computers and homes with 3D printers. It is a future building material. And the funny part of it is that Zero, the company I started in Mexico, Open Zero, is a company that audits whether or not companies are legitimately zero carbon or carbon neutral. So it's a zero carbon company with the official zero carbon material that's all ready-made to go in the earth, and it's coming to you from a flat earther. It is the zero carbon holy grail building and lifestyle material for everything.
Now, on that note, I'm going to run to the John. I'll put this video for 4 minutes and I'll meet you in just a few minutes here. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Cheers.
All right, here we go.
tracking continues.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't realize how late it was. I'm actually like, my time on this laptop is 8:38, but I've got a meeting at 9:30.
Oh, okay.
I'm already like a half an hour late.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's 9:38 over there, right?
Yeah, I know, but my laptop is on this Mexican time zone.
Oh no! So you had the hour,
and I just ruined my meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Dang.
Yeah, I didn't realize it went this late. Oh no. But listen, I have to let you go.
Okay, no worries.
Because basically, I want to thank your audience for listening, and email me at powerclay@proton.me, and you get some clay as well. And CC me at mathpowerland@gmail.com for anything else. And then follow me at math_powerland on Instagram, and mathpowerclay on Instagram as well. But I got to go. I didn't realize it was this bloody late.
All right. And before you take off, I just want to once again personally thank you for starting my journey of awakening and realizing we were lied to by NASA and all these things. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
We gotta do this 2 circles, 1 ball.
And if everyone enjoyed the show, let me know, because I'd like to, if you would ever come on again, I'd like to interview you more, because there's
we could do another one, because I didn't realize I have this huge snafu right now.
Yeah, I apologize. Well, thank you again for sharing your time and all your information, and God bless you and your family. And
okay, perfect. Talk to you soon. God bless you as well there, Richard, and your family as well. Talk to you soon, bud.
All right, bye. Wow. So there we go. That was something, right? That was something. Patty says a good show, right? Yeah, I thought I enjoyed it. I hope everyone else did. I'm sorry that he got his times mixed up. That's terrible, but yeah. So yeah, for me that was quite well, I rarely get speechless, and I also rarely lose control of the show. And but just the fact that he was really the first thing that kind of started the whole process for me. It was fun to talk to him, and I hope you all enjoyed having him here. So yeah, let's see. It looks like everyone seems to be enjoying things. Yeah, Math will smooth it out. He has the way of doing it. So but yeah, so okay, well, I'm glad everyone seemed to have a great time. And I know maybe there's some people that missed the all the information that said that, I was going to start early, because I had to work on his time schedule. And so if you're just tuning in, my show normally starts about 6, but it's almost 7 now. So but that was pretty much it. And if you missed it, you'll just rewind it. It'll be posted on here. And I'm going to be putting it up on Rumble and Rockfin. I didn't get to it tonight. I just wanted to concentrate on this in the interview. And I thought it went well. I tried to get in everyone's question that I saw and the ones that I had. And but there's always stuff that we leave on the table. So he had a lot of great info. And I'm really curious about his idea of the shape of the earth, because we're all just guessing. We're all just theorizing. That's all we can do. But we can all agree on the one thing, that the lie that was told to us by NASA, it's a lie. And so we have to throw that out and then start from the beginning and regroup. And the only way we're going to do it is by hashing things out like this. And I just feel that because of his situation and watching how he kind of got like booted and ostracized and attacked and stuff, I understand that there is that paradigm that they do in politics, that people, left side's attacking the right side and that. And I see that going on in these discussions when the flat earth people debate the same globe people over the same arguments over and over. I mean, as far as the actual shape, I can't say he's right or not. I just believe, like I said, biblically, it's on pillars, it's stationary, it's not going anywhere. And there is some protection around us of a firmament. More than that, I can only go by my eyesight. Everything I see and all the information that I've gotten, it's basically flat. There's depth to it, there's shale, and there's something underneath us. But the actual shape of the whole thing, I can't say. Biblically, I can't go this way. When Satan takes Jesus up to a high mountain and shows him all the kingdoms of the world, it can't be done if there's some of them underneath, in my mind. Again, these are my ideas. and they could vary with other people. So, but yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. And I found it very interesting on the whole clay thing, because we've been very into clay in this house, obviously, with the homemade soaps that my wife makes. And oh, thanks, she brought me work coffee. And oh, she brought it to me in an updated mug. It's the shampoo mug that matches the pillow. So thanks, hon. So yeah, I hope everyone got everything they needed from this show. And that's pretty much all I had for tonight, because I didn't put all the stuff together that I normally do. And if you're new to me and you want to watch another episode of, I'm usually on every Friday night at 6 p.m. We came in a little bit early to fit his schedule. And so it's sort of like a variety show. I make videos and I talk about things in the day, and we have fun, and just the people in the chat, just we all kind of hang out and have a little levity for at least a few hours every week to help get you through, the nonsense of the world. And that's basically what it is. It's all nonsense at this point. It's fascinating to me. The articles are written by AI, I believe, at this point. And then in addition to that, everything seems to be a deception. And I didn't get to, that's the other thing I want to get into math with, as far as, the timeline. We touched on it a bit, but I believe we're after signs of revelation and the melted buildings and stuff. And we're in the time of deception, which is written about at the very end of the Bible. How do I know that? Because there's constant stories of things like, I don't know, pandas being sus. I think pandas are sus.
Is my parents' dog moonlighting as a panda?
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, brought to you by Silly Fan Man. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my! The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Today's episode, how pandas are made.
Panda.
Satellite tracking continues.
So that's like one of the little videos that I'll make. But yeah, that's like the third story now where they've been caught over in China with chows as pandas. So, so what do we have here from La Palma? Hi, everyone. Thank you. I'm glad you love my show. You like the show? Excellent. Mason Melt is laughing. That's wonderful. Mr. Beast fan is laughing. Gabiola was interesting. I thought so too. I agree. And so, all right. Oh, you wanted what am I getting? Request for the tiger? Where is it? You missed the vomiting tiger? Well, nay, don't worry. I know Jen's still here. She loves the vomiting tiger. And this is for you and for Jen. Where is it? He's here somewhere. There we go. The vomiting tiger, only on this show. That's a lot of water or whatever he's vomiting. So, all right. But we know normally people are here because they have nowhere to go, right?
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else.
And lastly, I think I just have to do a shout out. Thank you, Melanie, for getting this interview work together.
Can you guys hear me?
That's in the infamous Melanie mug. All right. I think I covered everything that I could possibly cover with that gentleman. So thank you very much. I'm really, if he's still watching, thank you, Matt, for coming on. I really, really did like it. So, okay. Well, I think that's all I have for tonight. I know it's ending early for people, but we've been going since 4:00. So that's about all I have in the tank. But I just really wanted to thank everyone that showed up. I want to thank everyone for the donations. I saw some other ones come in on Cash App and things, so I'll look at those. And like I said, all that money's going to help my dog. He's doing so much better. God bless it. We prayed all night on it, and he's doing so much better today. He had some teeth pulled and the thing cut out. It was a mess, but he's a fighter and he's a badass and he's going to do great. So thank you for all the love and support and everything that people have been sending that for that. And let's see, I mentioned my wife's soap store. I always have to make sure I do that. Other than that, once again, thank you all for being here. I truly, I love this audience. I love having this live show where we can interact. If there's something you want to talk to me about and I didn't cover it here or didn't see it in the comments, send me an email at ceilingfanman2020@gmail.com and I'll go through that with you. So lastly, I would just want to say thank you, Father in heaven, and for anyone that's listening to the sound of my voice, God, please watch over us and our families. Please give us the grace, give us the understanding and the patience to be able to figure out all these things that we're discussing tonight and more. Have us do it with love in our hearts and joy of knowing you, that you will take care of us and you will show us the answers to these things in your time, and the things that we ask for. May they be granted to us with your blessings, and continue to guide us and continue to cover us with the full armor of God and protect us from all evil and watch over us and help us and heal us in these days. And hopefully very soon we'll all be together where we can feel the glorious joy of God within us and around us and have a paradise that we've been waiting for our entire lives. May we find this together in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. That's it. That's everything. Tank's empty. I got coffee, but I'm almost done with that. And I have nothing else to say other than thank you very much. I love you. And let's do this again soon. And if not, by next Friday for sure. So with that, where is he? You get this. He says with a knife in his leg.
Class is dismissed.
All right. And then you get your outro, and we'll see you soon. All right. God bless you all. Good night.
I'm the satellite.
500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Satellite transfer complete.